Hello and welcome everyone to MAHSA University's International Conference on Accounting and Business MiCAB 2022, which is being held on the 25th of March 2022. This conference is organized by the Faculty of Business, Hospitality, Accounting and Finance at MAHSA University. My name is Dr. Tara Ahmed, the Deputy Dean of the Postgraduate School at our faculty, and I will be your host for this event today. We are very honored to have each and every one of you here with us today. But before we commence our event, we would like to hear Nagaraku. Before we start this event, I would like to invite Mr. Sayyid Izzuddin bin Sayyid Ja'far to recite the dua.
Al-Fatiha. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alamin. Assalatu wassalamu ala asyrafil anbiya'i wal mursalin wa ala alihi wa sahbihi ajma'in. Ya Allah, ya Tuhan kami, bersempena dengan majlis MiCAB 2022 pada hari ini, kami memohon inayah dan taufik-Mu. Kurniakanlah kesejahteraan dan kebahagiaan kepada kami. Bukakanlah hati-hati kami, lapangkanlah dada kami supaya kami dapat mengisi ilmu dan pengetahuan yang berguna untuk agama, bangsa dan negara. Kami memohon kepadamu, ya Allah, agar Engkau berkatilah majlis ini dengan limpahan rahmat-Mu. Semoga segala usaha kami dalam menjayakan majlis ini mendapat keredaan dan hidayah-Mu. Sesungguhnya pada hari ini kami berkumpul kerana-Mu, ya Allah. Kami berkumpul untuk menimba ilmu, bertukar pendapat, menyumbangkan buah fikiran, menghubungkan silaturahim dan memberi sokongan ke arah meningkatkan lagi prestasi kami. Kami memohon kekuatan dan hadrat-Mu, ya Allah, supaya kami yang hadir pada hari ini, agar kami dapat melaksanakan segala kebajikan dan kami pohon perlindungan dengan Engkau daripada melakukan sebarang keburukan. Ya Allah, kurniakanlah kepada kami kekayaan ilmu pengetahuan dan hiasilah diri kami dengan sifat lemah lembut. Serta muliakanlah kami dengan ketakwaan dan indahkanlah diri kami dengan kesihatan. Amin, amin, ya Rabbal Alamin.
And now, I would I'm sorry, I think the microphone was not on. I will do this one more time. And now, I would like to invite Associate Professor Dr. Syriac Nelly Kunel Devasia, the Dean of the Faculty of Business, Hospitality, Accounting and Finance at MAHSA University, to give us the welcoming speech. Dr. Syriac.
Thank you, Tara. Thank you very much for the invitation. It's indeed a very glad day for me because this is going to be the second international conference that we have under MAHSA International Conference on Accounting and Finance. Professor Dato Dr. Ikram Shah bin Ismail, Honorable Vice Chancellor, MAHSA University, Professor Allah Kesorao, COO, MAHSA Education Verticals, Professor Dr. Sri Kumar Chakravarti, Director, Postgraduate Studies, Research, Innovation and Enterprise, MAHSA University, esteemed speakers of the day, respected directors, deans, invited guests, members from the conference partner institution, Bharati Vidyapeeth Institute of Management and Research, India, presenters, participants, colleagues, members of the staff and students, committee members, ladies and gentlemen. It's my pleasure to welcome all of you to MAHSA International Conference on Accounting and Finance, MiCAB 2022. The theme of this year's conference is Spearheading Digital Transformation and Innovation for Business Sustainability. Companies that invest in sustainability generally enjoy improved resilience, better operational performance, and business success. To meet expectations, our businesses need to align their digital transformation and sustainability objectives, and their decisions need to be grounded on this. Improving our future readiness means redirecting capital towards sustainable companies, governments incentivizing sustainable activities, customers showing preferences for sustainable products and services, and employees demanding sustainable leadership. Almost every organization has accelerated its digital transformation initiatives in 2022. But how many leaders have managed to create sustainable digital enterprises? That is, organizations putting people and the planet at the core of their digital transformation strategies. The answer is very few companies. Companies need to integrate sustainability strategies across multiple dimensions of their digital transformation roadmaps. Malaysia has taken its own strides towards this goal and has been consistently expanding industrial trainings, which include technical and vocational education training, call it as TVET, research and development, as well as commercialization and innovation. Malaysia's aim is to transform the nation into a digitally enabled, technology-driven, high-income economy while enhancing digital infrastructure for seamless and extensive connectivity. The essential question is, how do we harness these technologies for future preparation of our businesses and people while cushioning disruptive transitions? Thus, we need to reshape our digital ecosystem in a way that ensures inclusive, sustainable, and resilient growth. Therefore, successful adoption of digital technologies is crucial for our consistent revitalization and sustainable economic recovery. To date, we are thriving consistently in broadening the market access while building an inclusive digital economy. Thus, this conference brings in thoughts and ideas from some of the prominent leaders from both academic and industry. I'm sure that the presentations that are going to be made here would bring novel solutions and knowledge to all stakeholders. It would be an incomplete welcome note without saying a few words about my faculty. The Faculty of Business, Hospitality, Accounting and Finance has a wide range of programs from diploma, bachelor's and postgraduate programs. Recently, we have added PhD in Management and Doctor of Business Administration to our list. Hanifa Business School, our flagship business school, was opened recently by the HRD Minister, Dato Saravanan. This school will offer specialized PG Cert and PG Dip in leadership and MBA in strategic leadership. The faculty's programs are centered around knowledge, skills, and attitude to equip learners with all the necessary 21st century skills or life skills that are integrated with IA 4.0. Our faculty's overarching emphasis on research and the use of various technological and andragogy tools help learners to be up to date with current market trends and be industry ready upon graduation. This MiCAB 2022 conference, in fact, is one of the tools to achieve this mission. MAHSA's philosophy of Be More enables our faculty to provide learners with a dynamic range of masterclasses. Pride stands for Professional Industry-Driven Education, and other professional certifications in order to equip everyone with professional skills. These skills are vital, especially when managing a company or a team. Hence, we not only build future leaders, but also carve out committed entrepreneurs who would have developed key competencies to operate in the global business market. Our focus on upskilling, reskilling, and new skilling has enabled us to serve the global market with future-proof programs. Today, many of our graduates have embarked on their professional journeys in leading firms within and outside Malaysia. And we believe our approach to teaching and learning in this faculty has equipped them with the right skills and qualities to stand tall in their career and become sustainable leaders. Our collaboration with UITM for research and academic exchange is another example of our commitment to provide excellent academic exposure to our students. We also have international collaborations with Changchun Christian University, Taiwan, St. Joseph College, India, SHMS Swiss Hotel Management School, HIM Hotel Institute, Montreal, Switzerland, and Dhaka International University, Bangladesh. Our conference collaboration with Bharati Vidyapeeth Institute of Management and Research, India, is another example of our academic leadership. Thus, I can confidently say that this MiCAB 2022 conference is well aligned to the faculty's vision and mission of creating new knowledge and competent professionals. I also take this opportunity on behalf of all members of the conference organizing committee to extend our deepest gratitude in advance to all those who have contributed to make MiCAB 2022 conference a rousing success, namely our guests, speakers, session chairs, and you, our presenters and participants. Thank you for your dedication and perseverance during these challenging times. It's through your efforts that we have been able to pivot the MiCAB 2022 to this level. Once again, my hearty welcome to each and every one of you. Thank you. Stay safe.
Thank you, Dr. Siriak, for that. And now for the welcome address by the conference partner, Prof. Dr. Anjali Kalsi, the director of Bharati Vidyapeeth Institute of Management and Research at Navi Mumbai, India. But before that, please allow me to introduce Dr. Anjali Kalsi. Dr. Anjali Kalsi, Bachelor's MIRPS and PhD from Nagpur University in 1998. At present, Director of Bharati Vidyapeeth Institute of Management Studies and Research at Navi Mumbai and trainer for soft skills and other management topics. With 21 years of experience, she has received many awards and recognitions to her credit, like Indian Achievers Award for Education Excellence by Indian Economic Development and Research Association, New Delhi, on the 11th of June at 2011. Felicitated by University Women's Association Nagpur, affiliated to Indian Federation of University Women's Association and International Federation of University Women Association for obtaining a PhD. Please allow me to have Dr. Anjali Kalsi for the welcome address by our conference partner.
Thank you, Tara. Very good morning and warm welcome to all dignitaries of MAHSA universities, vice chancellors, dean, all stalwarts, researchers, esteemed faculty members, ladies and gentlemen who are participating in this MAHSA International Conference on Accounting and Business, organized by MAHSA University in collaboration with Bharati Vidyapeeth Institute of Management Studies and Research, Navi Mumbai. Once again, I welcome you all for this conference. We all know that today's business is very, very complex, competitive, and challenging as customer is very much demanding. And after pandemic, it is more driven by technology. And that's why the theme also we have kept for this conference is digital transformation. And we all are well aware that digital transformation, this transformation has its impact on the business. And the basic desire for this digital transformation is to make work more better for everyone, from employees to customer. In this haste of making work more better, we face many challenges, and I think after pandemic, uh, the challenges are more, and that's why the problems are also more, and business is going through this transition. And this type of conferences are, I think, provide a platform where all stalwarts, experts, they come and they uh, think and they come up with their solutions for such challenges. And this particular conference, wherein the main theme is this digital transformation, will definitely provide the solution for the challenges posed after pandemic. And I hope this particular conference will definitely come up with solutions, and there will be much discussion on this, and definitely there will be insight by the expert. And at this juncture, I just would like to welcome you all for this conference, and I wish happy learning to all the participants in the conference. My best wishes for this conference, and I'm very sure there will be much takeaways from this conference. Thank you. Thank you very much. Once again, I welcome, and I would like to thank all the dignitaries for attending this conference. And I, at the same time, I give my thanks from the bottom of my heart to MAHSA University for collaborating with Bharati Vidyapeeth Institute of Management Studies and Research, Navi Mumbai. Thank you very much. Over to
Thank
you, Tara. Thank you.
Thank you, Doctor. Thank you so much, Dr. Anjali. And now, please allow me to invite Professor Dr. Sri Kumar Chakrabarty, the Director of Postgraduate Studies, Research and Innovation at MAHSA University, for the opening address.
Thank you so much, Dr. Tara Ahmed and the organizing committee. And respected Tantri Prof. Hanifa, respected Dato Dr. Sharil Hanifa, Dato Engineer Sharon Hanifa, respected Dato Vice Chancellor, Chief Operating Officer, Dean Faculty of Business, members from Faculty of Business, and members from the collaborating university, Bharatiya Vidyapeeth Institute of Management and Research, Navi Mumbai. Ladies and gentlemen, in 2021, Netflix released a documentary called Seaspiracy. As much as I'm a vegan, I've watched this a couple of times, and I've also recommended many people to watch this documentary. And this documentary actually states the impact of illegal fishing world over. In fact, not even illegal fishing, ruthless hunting world over. So much so that I came to realize that thousands of dolphins are killed just to catch tuna, just to get a good yield of tuna by fishing vessels. And so much so that world over, now people who buy tuna cans, they need to see the label if it shows that this is dolphin-free tuna. And the documentary also went on to going that even companies, fishing vessels that get the dolphin-free tuna are still killing dolphins. And in one of the interviews, they showed that one particular fishing vessel killed 45 dolphins just to catch 8 tuna. Now, this is where sustainability comes in. Now, is it sustainable to kill 45 dolphins to catch 8 tuna fish? In 2020, Harvard Business School mentioned about a triple bottom line in the website. Now, a triple bottom line is something that every business, every industry, every employer, whether a university or a hotel or a casino or a ship, has to do, which is every business should consider three bottom lines: social, environmental, and the third is financial performance. Okay, so every industry, we need to think of these three aspects to perform well. Now, Nike produces shoes, sneakers. Should Nike produce more sneakers and sell more sneakers and get profit for their company? Or should they cut down on their sneaker production and uh, create a smaller environment footprint in the world? Shell produces petrol and oil. Should Shell produce more petrol and get more profits, more income for the countries where Shell is? Or should they cut down on the oil, because to produce more oil, they are going to drill into the Arctic ecosystem, which is a sensitive ecosystem? Can this be done? If if you feel like doing it, you can do it. Philip Morris, a tobacco company, the main source of income is tobacco. They're cutting down on their main source of income because they're moving into vaping. Again, a form of sustainability to just make sure that the world environment footprint or the ecosystem is good. So today's event is about business sustainability, and this comes from sustainable development, which is a word that's coming out in the media in the past couple of years, but this is not a new word. It's been in existence for many years, and we've never realized it. The first time I heard about sustainable development was in 1985 when I was watching Live Aid. Brian Adams, Eric Clapton, and Freddie Mercury performing on Live Aid, and that time the United Nations spoke about sustainable development. So that time they said sustainable means you have to satisfy the needs of the present generation without compromising the needs of the future generation. So in order to feed your first child, you shouldn't take an ice cream from the second child and give it to the first child. The second child would go hungry. So sustainability, business sustainability means your business should create wealth. It should make you live better. At the same time, you should not consume your natural resources. That is overfishing, killing dolphins for getting more tuna, or creating waste like plastic or carbon. So this affects your long-term goal, affects the ecosystem. So how do we go about it? We are in the education business. There are so many businesses in Malaysia, in the country, in India, world over. No single business can be sustainable. I cannot say that I'm sustainable. I can be sustainable only if I have a group of organization. Because a faculty of business would produce something, but you create a waste. If I organize with you, I use your waste and I produce something. The waste that I produce can be used by faculty of engineering or something like that. About 10 years ago, during my visit to the UK, I was amazed when I saw a grocery store where the grocer had kept out all his leftover fruit, and the shop next to his was a juice shop, and all this leftover fruit was going to the juice shop where he was making juice out of it. So one person's leftover is another person's input. In business curriculum, there is a term for this. It is called circular economy. And in MAHSA University, we are starting circular economy. We are creating compost from dead leaves. We are going to start creating biogas from the leftover food in our cafeteria. And I see this as the best pathway for a form of business sustainability. So it does not reduce your natural resources, and at the same time, it does not reduce your waste generation, but the waste is used to make something more attractive. Is this ambitious? Yes. Is this impossible? No. Business sustainability is the only way to assure future prosperity for all. And we need to figure it out. And how are you going to figure it out? By sitting back, relaxing, and listening today to all the talks of over 50 speakers. We have over 50 papers on business sustainability and management. So we are going to enlighten ourselves with whatever we have heard so far. And the team is a wonderful team. And I myself look forward to sitting behind and enjoying and listening and enlightening myself. Thank you and have a nice day.
Thank you so much, Prof. Sri, for this. I thank you so much. And now I would like to invite Professor Dr. Ikram Shah bin Ismail, the Vice Chancellor of MAHSA University, to give us the inaugural address speech.
Thank you very much, Dr. Tara. And a very good morning to the conference chair, Associate Professor Dr. Syriac, Dr. Anjali Kalsi from Bharati Vidyapith Institute of Management, Studies and Research from Navi Mumbai, keynote speakers, Associate Professor Ala Kesavarao, Professor Sri Kumar, deans, directors, presenters, participants, members of the staff and students, committee members, ladies and gentlemen. It's my pleasure to welcome you all to the second MAHSA International Conference on Accounting and Business, or MiCAB 2022, with the theme Spearheading Digital Transformation and Innovation for Business Sustainability. Sustainability through digital transformation is an essential strategy for companies to perform in the current socioeconomic landscape. Due to the risk caused by traditional manufacturing practices and rules imposed by the stakeholders and governments. As a result, an increasing number of companies around the world have invested in sustainability and digital technologies in order to understand how several risks are impacting traditional ways of doing business, the environment, and the quality of life. These challenges are summarized by the Sustainable Development Goals (SDGs) framework set by the United Nations. This is a universal, integrated set of goals designed to address 17 key interlinked challenges on people, business, and planet. A defining feature of the COVID-19 pandemic is digital transformation. This has filled up every aspect of our lives, besides altering economic, social, and structural domains. This pandemic has led to the rise of digital technologies, by which have supported governments and businesses in adopting agile and adaptive responses. In this regard, many organizations have introduced digital tools for disseminating information, monitoring healthcare, and sustaining education continuance. Additionally, businesses continue exploring digital financing, e-platform, and promote gig economy. This digital economic growth worldwide has been estimated to reach USD 455 billion by the year 2023. Some of the key challenges that we in Malaysia must gear to face is building inclusive digital infrastructure, promoting inclusive digital literacy, boosting digital-ready micro and small and medium enterprise. It is my hope that at the end of this conference, all of us are going to gain extensively in terms of knowledge and sharing of ideas that can positively transform our society and spark digital innovation for sustainable development. This conference comes at the most opportune time, as we are experiencing turbulent times as never before. Some have converted this problem into a business opportunity, leading to innovative and sustainable business practices. As universities are destined to be torchbearers of knowledge and innovation, I strongly believe that this conference will help us to move closer to this vision. This is very well aligned to the MAHSA University's vision to be the center of excellence in higher education in the region. I firmly believe that this conference will eventually facilitate and enhance local and international networking for students and staff, and provide research and sustainable innovation opportunities at all levels. I hope that all of you will take this opportunity to network virtually and create new knowledge centers, leading to excellence in education and research, ultimately benefiting the industry and society at large. With these words, it is my privilege and honor to declare this conference open. I wish all the very best to all presenters and participants. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Dr. Ikram, for that. We thank you so much. And now, I would like to invite our industry keynote speaker, Datuk Munira Loy, founder and CEO of Brand International Malaysia, to speak to us about business sustainability through digital transformation and innovation. But before that, please allow me to introduce Datuk Munira, who is the top 3 nominee for the prestigious EY Entrepreneur of the Year Award in 2018, and just recently awarded the Master Entrepreneur Award in 2021 by APEA Asia Pacific Enterprise Award Regional Edition, and the 10 Best Inspiring CEOs of 2020 by Industry Era. She is a member of International Who's Who of Professionals, life member of International Business Leaders, Asia CEO Community, and Global Chamber of Business Leaders. I welcome Datuk Munira.
Thank you, Dr. Tara, for the kind introduction, and thank you very much for inviting me to speak at MiCAB. And of course, thank you to MAHSA Universities for this invitation. So I'm going to very quickly dwell into just walking you through what to expect from my presentation. As you probably see that I come from a business environment, and I'm going to talk about the evolution of the business and how digital and technology has impacted businesses today, and how do we need to stay relevant in the marketplace. So I'm going to talk about a little bit about how digital transformation has impacted business and how we have to evolve from a business perspective. I'm going to then share some case studies around how organizations has therefore pivoted their business to continue to stay relevant in the marketplace. And I'm going to kind of end off the sessions with a kind of a sharing what are the critical success factors for businesses who wants to embark on this digital transformation journey. All right. So with that, let me very quickly move to the actual session proper. And so I think this is a very interesting app word that all of us are currently facing today. So welcome to the post-pandemic world. We are right smack in a global disruptions, and these global disruptions are the new normal for every one of us. And I'm sure most of you have heard the word VUCA. This has been developed way back in the 1980s, and VUCA represents the volatility, uncertainties, the complexities, and the ambiguity of the environment in which we are operating. So we are more VUCA than before as a result of the pandemic that has hit us in the last 2 years. So we are currently in a very highly disruptive world. And let me kind of share with you some very interesting trends around how the disruptors is already present in the global scene even before the pandemic. All right. But what the pandemic has essentially done is it has accelerated the growth and the adoption of how companies and businesses has to transform via digitalization. So let me now very quickly share with you the 7 disruptors. As we've said, this has already been happening even 5 years ago. We talked about technology is everywhere. All right. In 2020, we already have more than 6 billion plus smartphones in the world. So how do business essentially leverage on this to do their business? So technology is everywhere. And what is obviously interesting today is the AIs, the cognitive computing, robotics has become more affordable because of the pay per use. So as a result of that affordability, you are seeing more and more organizations has leverage on such state-of-art digital tools to actually reach the market or the consumers in which they interact with. And as a result of AIs and robotics and all that, and the technology, the state-of-art, the next-gen technology, you find that there is a whole tsunami of data, especially in the last 2 years, where how do we then convert this data into insights for businesses to transact and do business and continue to stay relevant. So the data, it's there. An explosion of data comes into play, but we have also not forgotten the fact is that the workforce has also changed tremendously from the past. There's an explosion of contingent workers. We call this the gig economy today. And thanks to COVID, you find that more and more people and employees are not looking at full-time jobs. They're now, they have experienced, what is it like to work from home? And a lot of them actually do enjoy working from home. And many left their jobs and became a gig worker in this case here. So that's an explosion of the contingent work. And this essentially impacts business. And I'm sure some of the speakers will essentially talk a little bit about the human component of disruptions, all right? While technology is an enabler, the critical success factors is we cannot forget the human dimensions and the people and the workforce. Because why? In today's context, jobs are essentially very vulnerable, all right? Because as a result of technology, jobs are going away, but new jobs are being created. So it is important to understand, what are the jobs that are in demand, all right? There will be jobs that's going to become obsolete. Roles is going to be obsolete due to the disruptions that's happening in the workplace. And we are also experiencing that the millennials has already come into the workforce. So you can imagine in the history of business today, we now get cuts across at least 4 multi-generation of workforce. So that's the complexity and the diversity in managing the workforce of today has changed tremendously. And this requires new sets of leadership and management skills to be able to get these people inspired to get things done. And of course, the last disruption that we are seeing also is that there is, when we started our work and our career, it is like career for life. But in today's context, most people in the workforce, career has changed, all right? And they changed multiple times. And that's something that we kind of need to consider as part of what we call employee retention. How do you create an environment for the workforce to be motivated and to look at their job as not a job, but to look at it as a career, All right. So these are the 7 key disruptors that has already come into play for a long time. But what has really happened in the last 2 years, as a result of the pandemic, it kind of exploded, all right, and it creates a much more intensity and urgency for organizations and business to rethink the way that they conduct the business. I think the key really is for businesses, you need to evolve or become extinct, all right, because the disruptions that is happening in the world today cannot allow us to continue to stay as what we are today. What works in the past no longer works in today's environment. And we kind of need to bear in mind that today it is the consumers. They are the ones that is going to control the interactions with the business. They are the ones, the consumers, which is all of us. We will decide which brand that I want to interact with, which are the products and services that I want to purchase, and where I want to purchase them. So if we do not adapt to what the consumer needs and has changed, and ensure that we have new business models, to reach out to the consumers of today, we're going to price ourselves out. And I think all of us can essentially connect to this, right? In the last 2 years, when we were faced with multiple lockdowns, even my mother, who have not gone online, has started to make purchases via Shopee and the Lazada. And I think all of us can connect to it. We love the feel and the touch, but as a result of the lockdowns, we had no choice but to go into online shopping. And guess what? We became converts over time, because why? The brands honor the ability to deliver what we want. And that trust has been built. And you find now you don't have to leave home, to actually make purchases that you want, from all the way from clothing to even household items, going to the supermarket. You don't have to do this, even fresh products. Everything is just via the mobile app in this case. So digital transformation, we always said that digital transformation used to be a smart strategy for a lot of business, all right? But the pandemic has given rise to digital transformation. Is now a survival strategy, right? Because if businesses embrace digital transformation, you find that it allows businesses to innovate. We make ourselves hyper available, allows us to be more agile, and having that elastic response to the consumers, because the consumers' behaviors has changed tremendously. All right. And if we do not use technology as an enabler to drive and pivot the business, then, as we've said, customers will go elsewhere. Digital allows us to do things seamlessly from a customer's perspective. It's the same as I go to the shop to buy something. The experience is the same if I do it online. So it's so hassle-free that I don't want to go to the store. I don't want to go through the traffic jam, pay for parking, and then go and get something, and then, get caught in the traffic while you go home. All right. So that's really what digital transformation has allowed us to do. And more importantly, it's how do you deliver the whole end-to-end solutions to your clients with a memorable experience. All right. And that's really important from a context of business sustainability from our perspective. All right. It's about how do you get your customers to come back the second time and all the time. And that's really the key agenda for businesses today. And as such, you're now beginning to see that businesses needs to transform, all right? I mean, there's no two way about it. And when we talk about transformation, the business model in terms of how we operate needs to change. And this is a paradigm shift for a lot of business owners, for a lot of organizations, because now if you look at the service-oriented business model, it's no longer about customer made a purchase. And that's it, right? Because now customers, you have to move from just pure purchases to usage-based payments. And this is what I spoke about earlier. It's that when we implemented technology before, it's like you need to have on-premise solutions. But today, I don't need racks and racks of systems, to put to house those technology. Because why? Everything now has evolved into a cloud solutioning. All right, and I don't have to spend big dollars to transform the organizations, because now is based on usage. So the company focus now no longer just talk about product life cycle. It's about making sure focusing on the customer and looking at dynamic portfolios. It means, how do I get the customer to buy multiple products from me, all right, through creating value. So it's about customer value anymore. It's just not about one product, one customers, but it's that multi-dimensions now, multiple product portfolios just for one customer, all right? And payment used to be one-time payment for cost optimizations, but today, as we've said, it's based on usage base, all right? And from a data-driven business model, the focus is no longer about standard solutioning, because this is not going to give you sustainability. It's about personalization. It's personalized solutions. It's about understanding your customers and building something that will address a problem that your customers is facing, all right? It's about no longer about big data to drive efficiency, but how do you convert those data, into insights so that you can make data-driven business decisions and business decisions to reach out to your customers to drive value, and of course, moving towards profitability of the organization. So data is no longer a source of revenue, but it's how do you monetize those data? And that's really the key focus for business today. And of course, the platforms and ecosystems essentially has to change. So it's just not about immediate company connections, but it's your platforms today is the central part of the network, all right? It's about omni-channel technologies, all right? How the company or how the customers can interact with the organizations regardless of the interface or the various touch points. The experience must be seamless. The experience must be essentially consistent. And the focus in as far as the platforms and ecosystem is concerned is no longer about just pure linear valuation creation, but it's about multi-dimensional value creation. And it's not seen, the payments today, I think all of us can connect. How many of us literally have transacted using cash in today's context? And everything it's using various e-wallet aspect of it, all right? So that's the kind of intensity of how the business has evolved over time. And I've listed some of the key logos below to give, so that you can actually connect that, okay, most of us have kind of interacted with these logos, in the course of what we do in this case here. So what essentially has happened is obviously the pandemic has proven two things. Organizations who has evolved are ones that we realize are the ones that is about agility, all right? And you can only be agile if you have the enabler. And more importantly, you also have the workforce readiness is very important. All right. The future of work, it's really about embracing the workforce, right? Making sure that the people are resilient, and it's also adapting to this digital economy. So it's all about agility wins. It's about digital first. So these are the two key factors, and that has therefore lead us to understanding that digital transformation it's no longer a smart strategy, but it is a sustainable business strategy for people. Because why? Customers are controlled. They are present in many folds. The digital space, they're in the various multiple technology platforms, mobile apps. They use a lot of mobile apps. Some of us has not just one mobile, we have probably 2 or 3. They are connected devices. How your mobile is connected to your laptop, and to your desktops, and of course smart appliances itself here. So these are some of the key buzzwords that's happening in the environment, and if companies do not embrace digital transformation, you can't innovate, because once you have the digital mindset in the business as well as in the workforce, it creates your competitiveness, it increases agility, and it allows us to generate ideas and drive adaptation. And we've said the world is changing just so fast, just like in my organizations. Yes, we do plan. Do we plan? Yes, we do plan. But we plan like there is tomorrow, something is going to happen. So the ability to be agile, that when you are faced with roadblocks, you have to be able to change and drive and move forward as an organization. So we are in an experience economy, all right? And that is something that we also have to acknowledge. It's about using technology, all right, to drive the experience economy. So that leads us to the very basic fundamental of why we go into digital transformation. Digital transformation is necessary because of the customers, all right? So it allows us to engage customers when they want, where they want it, and how they want it, all right? And we have no choice because they are in control of everything. And if we do not move with the preferences and the behaviors of the consumers, and you're beginning to see more millennials, more Gen Ys are making a lot of buying decisions in today's context. So if you don't reach out to this mass, the millennials, you're not going to get that market segments. Let me just highlight a couple of examples of how organizations essentially has pivoted. I think most of you are kind of know DBS. Is the largest bank in Singapore, perhaps even in the region as well, and how they have re-imaged their whole customer journey using the whole digital ecosystems to actually grow their business. So they are no longer the brick and mortar banking companies where you have to go to the bank, to do your transactions, and put in cash, withdraw cash, and all that. Everything now has what we call the digital transactional value. A lot of things are done via transaction. You can buy properties, you can get loans just via the digital channel through their apps. So it has generated $1 billion in terms Singapore dollars in loans just via the app. They have also the DBS PayLah, which is similar to the other platforms like the FayPay, Google Pay, Lazada, and all that. So they've relied on this e-wallets, and that has grown, allowed them to grow the transactions volumes in just 1 year. And of course, they did not shy away from the e-commerce, because that is the game changer. So they've gone into e-commerce, telecom and loan aggregation partners. They partnered with. They don't have to reinvent everything, but what they do is they actually go through strategic partnerships, all right, to help grow their business. As you can see here, the loan volume has increased in Indonesia, and of course in India. They were about a 20% increase in new digital accounts. All right, and they've not also forgotten about the corporate sector. All right, so they have, again, through strategic partnerships, help facilitate accounting platforms to help SMEs and so on and so forth. So you can see, therefore, that DBS has essentially re-imaged the way that they conduct their business from just a pure play banking, branch banking, to that of a digitalized banking. Grab needs very little introduction in this part of the world. Most of you would have heard about this. Grab started their business primarily very much in the mobility business. All right, it's about transportations. Their gross merchandise value then was about USD 3.2 billion, and their growth was about 30%, right? But look what they have done. Over the years, they have moved from mobility to doing deliveries. And I think all of us would have experienced, during the lockdown, how we crave for food and we can't reach the restaurants. So what do? We kind of use the Grab food, and look at the way their growth is far better than their brick and mortar business, which was mobility. Their growth was 203%, generating a gross merchandise value of USD 5.5 billion dollars. All right, and in today's context, if you have the Grab app, it's no longer just about mobility and delivery of food, but they have actually pivoted and now have what we call the e-wallets. So the financial business is coming into play, and that has scaled tremendously. And you can see again here the whole ecosystem of just a pure Grab which started as a pure transportation, made hassle-free transportation, made easy for the consumers, has also evolved over time in this case here. And of course, Alibaba and Inaugural, don't need any introduction as well. They have now used chatbots to interface with the consumers. As you can see here, the Alime bot works with the consumers very much in China, and they provide personalized shopping recommendations. Not only that, they handle returns and refunds, and address resolution just using a bot. All right, and same thing for Uniqlo. They have the Uniqlo IQ, which is a chatbot, which again interacts with the customers and provide customer styling tips as well. Another key thing that you probably need to see would be how digital transformation has transformed brick and mortar business into digital. Again, Isetan is another great brand in Japan, and how they integrate the physical with digital. All right, Isetan Mitsukoshi has started off with a remote shopping app, because now it's like with a lockdown, they can't reach you. I mean, the customers can't go to the shop, so they came up with this shopping app, and that has increased their and in that app they have various multiple 15,000 items, and their plan and envision it to have 1 million items to reach out to the consumers. And it's just not it is very transactional, not only transactional, but it is very personalized. So you have live chats, video calls, that if you need to connect with the company. And as a result of this, their online sales essentially has hit, the 276 million, which is against their plan targets itself here. So we are now beginning to see future trends that's coming. Some of you may be able to connect with this as well. The KOLs are coming into, are doing a lot, and a lot of brands are using KOLs to bring about their brands into the consumers. They become the super host. They've gone into live streaming as teleshopping, and not only live streaming in person where people see now and buy now, like teleshopping, but it's teleshopping 2.0. What they have done is they have used AI virtual host to actually, so that you can do live streaming like 24 hours to reach, not just a specific geographical market, but their reach is like Taobao has reached the global market scene in this case here. So, and of course, brands are running live streams. Shopping beyond borders are things that people are already started in this part of the world to actually ride on the success of the Chinese e-commerce and live commerce to reach out to the key markets itself here. So I'm going to give you this example. Some of you may know him. This is Austin Lee Jiaji. We call him the Lipstick King. He is one of the KOLs or the key influencers, leaders, to actually get people to buy things. He sold 1.8 billion worth of goods just in a span of 12.5 hours of live stream on single day last year. And it garners 250 million viewers. All right, and Austin Lee has been a very trustworthy and reliable. He has been positioned as that, and people trust his frankness and product reviews, and people are using him to sell the product, at least in China per se. And look at the amount of money that he earns, 10 to 20 billion per month, and his net worth is beyond the 15 million mark, which is expected of it. So this is a key opinion leader that people are using. Taobao is since 2016 has also gone into live commerce and innovation. All right, and this helps because you are actually interacting with someone beyond just the robots to actually enhance your whole traditional way of the retail business. So, and now we're also beginning to see the immersive digital experiences. How do you bring your brick and mortar companies who has physical stores into the digital space? All right, and this is another great example is, of course, again, I like Uniqlo's example about how digitalization meets fashion. They set up a store in Harajuku in Japan, where Harajuku is a place where the pop culture and bold fashions are seen. So if you go to Japan, this is the place to go, right? So what they've done is they actually open a store in Harajuku, and they because it connects with the youth, and that's very important. So Uniqlo outfit recommendation app, they translate that app, which is called Stylehin, and they incorporate it into the store. So when you walked into that store, they will be touch screens like you probably see in that image, right? And you kind of go into which outfit is something that you're interested in. You go to the wall, so there's a lot of interactions. People like the feel and the touch, and if you like something, then it tells you where to find that particular outfit. So it's really about how do you engage your consumers moving forward. So The next wave of digital transformation, it's no longer about transactional. It's about a sustainable value creation in order for you to stay relevant. So it's about digital engagement value, making sure that it's just not about going into the app and playing with the app, but making sure that when a consumer enters your app, it leads to a purchase. It's no longer about digital efficiency per se, but how do you use that to onboard customers and ensuring that you have a digital ecosystems that actually drives a value for your customers. So are we ready? So is digital transformation a challenge or an opportunity? This is a very busy chart, but we put kind of the things that business leaders have to think about when they say that they want to go into digital transformation. Certainly 92% sees this as a great opportunity for us to transform as an organization. We have no choice, but there are key agendas that challenges that the C-suite level people need to think about, from new way of working to new operating models to ensuring the compliance has to happen. How do you ensure that you ride on the digital media platforms to reach out to your customers? There's always that balance between digital and getting customers to come into your stores. So how do you bridge that gap? I know now in Malaysia, we don't have a lockdown, so more and more people are going out. But do we go back to business as usual, or now you have to kind of leverage on both channels to get your business? And that's where the future of digital transformation, it's about innovation, but not forgetting the security component aspect of it. All right, and a lot of compliance, the banks are now trying to realign themselves to ensure that yes, it is important to innovate, but then how do you regulate this business? All right, so there's some key considerations that you need to think about. So clearly, the successful elements for any business sustainability to drive digital transformation, you need to have a clearly defined business goals. And I kind of like the opening of some of the key distinguished session before me has mentioned about putting ESG as part of the agenda. And it's just not about having the goals and the plans. It's about adaptive execution, because you have to plan like tomorrow is going to change again. All right. And that requires the agility approach. And of course, as leaders, it's about digital leadership. How do you drive innovation? How do you drive creativity in your people? And how do you empower your people, all right, to do things? Because they are the ones that has to take accountability, all right, to make things happen for the organization. So with that, thank you very much for listening in. I look forward to any feedback and comments. I know there's no Q&A, but certainly look forward to interacting with some of you who wants to know a little bit more about what I've shared. And I will now pass it back to Dr. Tara, for the next session. Thank you very much, and enjoy your session.
Thank you so much, Dr. Munira. But please, before you go, allow me to invite Associate Professor Dr. Siriak Nadikonal Devasya, the Dean of the Faculty of Business, Hospitality, Accounting and Finance at MAHSA University, to present a certificate of appreciation to your good self. Dr. Siriak?
Thank you, Dr. Munira. Thank you so much for today's session, and we greatly appreciate you joining us, taking your valuable time. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
And now I would like to call upon our academic session keynote speaker, Professor Dr. Balakrishnan Parasuraman, UMK Malaysia, to speak to us about digital disruption and human resource management in the era of business sustainability, key challenges to the organizations. But before that, please allow me to introduce Professor Dr. Bala, whereby Professor Dr. Balakrishnan has 25 years of experience, whereby he served as a former Deputy Director, Student Affairs at UMS, founding head and international office UMK, Director of Industrial Linkages and Collaboration Office ILCO UMK, and founding advisor at Bursa Saham Student Club UMK. Over to you, Dr. Bala.
Okay, thank you very much, Dr. Tara, as a moderator for today, with a smiling face. I'd like
Thank
to
you.
also thanks to Vice Chancellor and the organizing committee, and special thanks to Associate Prof. Dr. Sierat, who's the Dean, and also the main person behind this conference. I really appreciate that invited me for this very important section that we are talking during the post-COVID-19. I would like to also thanks to all the distinguished speakers, participants, students, and also people who are watching us from the social media. I would like to share my screen now. Okay, Dr. Tara, can you see my slide? Hello, Dr. Tara, can you see my slide?
Yes, yes, Doctor, we can see the slides.
Okay, thank you. All right.
All right.
First of all, thanks for the for this conference, very important conference. So I'm Professor Dr. Bala. I'm actually expert on human resource and industrial relation. For last 25 years, I do research on this what I call on HR and IR, and I've gone through a different phase of economic crisis. We started world crisis economy and then Asian crisis, and then again back to world crisis, and the worst is actually pandemic COVID-19. And my research actually basically look at how these disruption on the HR. For today's topic, I would like to talk about how the globalization, digital disruption, and also the impact to the human resource. What are the challenges for organization? So I'm from actually University of Malaysia, Kelantan. We are actually entrepreneurship university in Malaysia. It's a public university, number 19. So currently my university located in Kelantan, the east coast of Malaysia. I think Dr. Tara already gone through my profile, and this is where I am now in the east coast, very beautiful near the seaside. So University of Kelantan. So you're welcome to visit our university, and also welcome to explore more on entrepreneurship in Malaysia, because we are the giving license number one university entrepreneurship in Malaysia. Okay, before I start, I like to recap what's happening in coronavirus, what we call COVID-19. I have a data here. I'm putting two data because I was talking this issue for last 2 years all over the world. I was talking in Latin America, I was talking in India and many countries, talking about how the disruption on the digital and also on directly to HR. So this is what my topic. You look at the cases, tremendously, really scary. The case increasing like that, and you can see the data within 2 years, millions of people died due to this, and this including also workers and many employers badly affected. Just now, Dr. Munira also talking about how digital disruption happening in the workplace, especially to employers and employees, and how. And the question, fundamental question, how are you going to face this? This is when I'm going to talk about that. But before that, I will discuss about basically how this the phenomena in globally affected. So everybody talking 4.0 IR, but nobody understand what do you mean 4.0. Even recently, Japan and Korea also started talking 5.0 IR, so humanization. Do you think that this revelation will be continue without any human touch? Where going the human going to be? We have so many graduates come out from the university. Where do you want to go? If everything digitalization and going, these are the questions that not only will think by people from Malaysia, but all over the world. You know, the whole world must be think how to do that. And big organizations, United Nations, ILO, WHO, everybody must sit down and think what is going to be, what is going to happen later. You look at the trend now. We started 1.0. Now we are in the 4.0, and we cannot stop this. And actually, COVID-19 accelerate this even much higher. And you can see everybody is now go digitalized. Shopping, banking, tourism, even so many things. You go to airline, Asia, you don't need to go fly. You just do everything by yourself. So what's going to happen to the human resource? What is going to happen to our people? What happened to our student? We are investing so much money on the student to them to be super like they want to be top 10. But what is the question to ask? But we cannot stop this. He disrupt the whole business and sustainability and plus HR. Okay, look at this. All these disruption already happening now. Look at the Facebook now taking over the whole business. You can, like me, I post this seminar all over the world until Latin America. Very few seconds. MAHSA will know everybody in the world very fast. How can it happen this? Because digitalization. And it's run by the artificial intelligence. We call AI. AI doing everything for us. So all these questions must be think. And you go beyond even post-pandemic, even you go like even faster than what you even look at the education, everything online. So where the people will think about that? How this country will think about? Are you thinking by individual country? No, you must think about the whole world. The whole world, actually, we have to think how to be unified in terms of this business, what they call disruption. Now people talking car can go by themselves. A lot of car is already developed by many companies like Mercedes-Benz. They're also starting all these, to be self-driving, and then smart cities, robotic, and so on. And even we no need to have doctor. I have few friends in University Malaysia Sabah. They expert in robotic, work with the expert on the medical. They are actually doing operation in Keningau. Keningau is a very remote area. They will tell the nurse using the robot and they can make operation. So you can see crazy smart homes. So all these actually we rethink back what is going to happen in the future. Okay, now we can see the housing and everything, environment. So it's a cloud application. Maybe some of you don't know what is a cloud. It's already happening now. You put the data on the air now. All the data on the air. You already put it in the hard disk. Those days, you remember, we lack of space, on the computer. But today, no. All the big companies, they're putting on the clouds, and you can access everywhere, especially higher education. Like I can see MAHSA transforming your education system. I visited Anifa Business School. It's totally different. You're going to see different world of education. And it's something happening in other universities. Even my university also, entrepreneurship. We are going beyond the globe. We are going to talk about that. But are we ready? Are we ready for that? That's the question to be asked. Mobility. Those days, human will fly to one place to another place. Will cost a lot of money. But today, no. Just go with a second. You can people now listening to our talk everywhere in the world. You don't need to have any cost, anything. Just a mobile. It's a computer. That's all. So that's how it disrupts the business. But there is a merit. There's a dismerit. And this is why we're going to discuss later on. So it's a global complexity. It's already issue that we discussed this one a few years, but Dr. Munida was talking about digitalization, not just pandemic or post-pandemic. It already happened 10, 15 years ago, but we are not ready yet. We are not ready to face this until the pandemic came in. Everybody don't know what to do. They are stuck. HR manager don't know what to do. HR business CEO don't know what to do. Everybody's stuck. And now rethinking back how to deal with the business. We have no choice. We have to face this 4.0 IR will go and on, okay? So you look at the world trend now, okay? Everything we're talking about data, structured, unstructured, cloud, mobility, like you see the phone by 2020, 7 billion phone. Phone become something not as a phone. It's an entertainment world, it's a business opportunity, networking, connectivity, and so on. We got WhatsApp, we got this, we got that. More will come in. Are we ready for that? How about young generation? What is going to happen? The young one in school, are they ready? They are different group of people coming to the university. Are the university ready for to face this? Are we the CEO, the vice chancellor, all the top managers ready to face this? Are we discuss this or not? How to face this kind of group of people? They will come to university. Are they ready to accept? These are the human resource, the digitalized human resource, where we want to bring them to next. So I really encourage from the academic perspective. My research show that indicate that all the top management, the CEO, everything, sit down and discuss to face this phenomenon. If we don't do that, we're going to more challenges we're going to face later. Okay, and people talk about Internet of Things. Imagine 26 billion will people go and join on the internet. All right, and look at here, data flying everywhere. Okay, so that business become super top. And education, example, I can say people can study everywhere in the world. You don't need to stay one place to another place. So what is the role of the university? What the management will think about that? Are they ready to face this? So all these actually issue that we are facing now actually tremendously, I think, affected our life, our business, and so on. So COVID live with us. We can't do that, the virus with us. But how we think about the virus that transform into the business facility, that's more dangerous, the virus that with us and the virus that we are going to face later. So people weren't happy. People think that unsecure, job is unsecure. People living in the very mentally disorder. People scared every day. We lost a job and so on. So each country, the leaders must think how to collaborate with like big nation like ASEAN, Europe, even Latin America. Even Latin America, we want to collaborate with us. I'm talking a lot of issue in Latin America, the whole country Latin America. I will discuss a lot of issue and thank God Brazil taking our approach. Well, I was talking about how Malaysia was deal with during the COVID-19. They're taking our idea now. They're going to publish as a book, and they are doing that. So these are the sharing knowledge that we should have. We don't keep the knowledge for ourselves. We keep the knowledge to other people. Okay. So what do you mean pillars of digital disruption? Okay, experience, data, security. Another issue, security. We are not secure. Everything we put on the cloud, on the social media, we are not secure. People looking at us, people want to do. But at the same time, you look at positively, is actually enlarging the business, enlarging the what they call networking, and we are going globally. But are we talking about global family, global employees, global what? What we are standing now? That's my fundamental question. I was talking this about 10, 15 years ago about teleworking. People don't listen to what I'm saying. I already suggested to them, look at the law, labor law. Now they are already talking about working from home. It's the same teleworking. Why don't you listen? Why don't you take our point? This is an academic, it's very, very important because we are from academic perspective. We are doing research for the policy. And I'm very happy that many research that we've done together with my colleagues and all already on the place in the country based now. Example, a minimum wage. I was struggle for this for the last 20 years. Why we cannot ratify the ILO? Today, I'm very happy that ILO ratified us and giving award to Malaysia. All right, so you look at the industrial internet computing. Today, everybody got handphone. Without handphone, people cannot sleep. I think ask yourself. You wake up, you must see WhatsApp, you must see Facebook, you must see LinkedIn and so on. And LinkedIn is super. LinkedIn is connecting people. A lot of my students, I encourage them to LinkedIn. They already got a job, immediately got a job because the friends in LinkedIn, actually, they're all like HR managers and so on. So when I click to the HR, they click with me, they are getting a job and people start interviewing directly through the internet, no face-to-face. And you can recruit anyone in the world, doesn't matter. We are a big family, doesn't matter. We can recruit people, but we are going to see who is a talent. There will be a lot of problem we're going to face later among the graduate. Today, the graduate totally different. They are not like those days. Loyalty, no more. They don't listen to you. They just want to do themselves. They want to do themselves. They are very want to be so self-centered rather than working with someone. No, this is a life they're facing because of the internet disruption on that. So these people will go to workplace. How are you going to handle them? These people don't listen to you. They will work, they will leave. This is what happened. Are we going to punish them or are we come up with a different thing to handle with them? And that's a question we should ask. Look at the global trend now. So look at the global trend now, okay? So already globally 20 years ago, a lot of scholars from the human resource perspective, they're talking about aging workforce. Now we're getting better in terms of medical. People getting old and healthier. So are we thinking that they retire at the age 60 or 65 or 70? That's another question to be discussed. There's no discussion taking place. We're only talking short-term plan. We never take about long-term. Example, I want to ask one question to you all. Professor cannot be retired. You look at my colleagues from America, from Latin America, they are working until now, until die they're working. A lot of my friends, 80, 85, they're still working, still giving. But why we put some restriction on it? You look at the Asian country, when the moment they retire, professor, that's it. Are you going to do that? Cannot. They must be mentor to our country. They should advise the country. They are very important for us to advise the right policy and right thing to do that. That's what I say. Every country must taking into account on this also. And together with the practitioners like Dr. Munira, we need them, industry and academic collaboration, to look at the human resource policy in respective country or within the region. Look at India now. They are bringing all the talent from all over the world. They are super, like Pepsi Cola. The CEO, former CEO is from Tamil Nadu, you know. They bring back now. They are changing now. You look at China. They're moving towards everywhere in the world. Look at Korea. Look at Japan and other countries. So what we do now, are we sitting here and looking at what's happening, or we are looking at a different trend and global trend? So it's a volatile. Economy is uncertain in this business sustainability. Are we going to sustain, or are we going to close the shop, or what? Sustainability, actually, the question really come actually in the right time, because we need to sustain our human resource and we need to keep. So what happened during the COVID-19? Many talent, we retrenched them. They are jobless. And many good companies also retain them. I know some of the big companies, small companies retain. There's one company under I was talking to the billionaire Tan Sri Yamaga Tan Sri Feng, saying he's a property developer and he's a super billionaire top entrepreneur. I asking Tan Sri, during the time of a pandemic, are you retrenched? He said, no, I never do that. I need my people with me. But how you handle with it? I will restructure the business. I will giving some kind of basics. So I myself involved in the HR rather than HR manager. So what HR manager must do now is talking to the CEO, and they have to think how to do that. Look at the human resource trend now, right? This is the old fashion and this is a new one. Look at it. We own, manage them, but in the new one, no, we attract, motivate. A lot of hijacking happening now. We cannot control. People looking at the Facebook, like what happened to me. I was in University Malaysia Sabah. I'm working there. I don't care, but all my job I putting in the Facebook and like LinkedIn and so on. People look at you, and people was hijacked, and that's why I come to University Malaysia Kelantan. Then I develop. I share my knowledge. I don't mind to go anywhere, but I develop as a talent, as employee of the day. I stay and I develop that particular university, from the mentality of the graduate until the employment sector. So people will motivate. Bottom-up approach. No more like top 10 instruction. It cannot be. Like, for example, like if we got Vice Chancellor. Vice Chancellor supposed to talk to the down there, the dean, the staff, the student. Most of the student. Are we engaged with student? They are number one for us. No. That's why the student is like, they don't respect us, because we never engage with them. Why you cannot engage with them? And you engage with them, then you engage with the industry. Who suffer now? The industry going to suffer. Because this new generation, they are not listening to whatever they want to say. They want to do themselves. But that we have to think about that. Okay, I'm telling this all going to be faced later in the sustainability is actually HR is number one. If we cannot control HR, then that's it. People is very, very important. Talent include agile workforce. Okay, so we are going to take top talent around the world. I give example for the university. University going to recruit all the tech talent. You cannot control that. They will come, and they will work. And we're going to be super, super top. This is what is going to happen at Harvard Business School. They are looking for the partners in the world. Oxford looking for. They are not sitting on that in that particular point anymore. No way. American want to work with Asia. Their markets are very big. So what we do, like here, university, MAHSA, like private, public, UMK, what are you going to do? Are you sitting down and looking at that, or we want to collaborate and want to do something else? Because we are the one actually supplying the manpower to the workforce. If we don't ready now, how are we going to bring the top talent? Okay, people share the data. No more like owned by the company or whatever. No, they own the data. They will put in the Facebook. They will put this. So security is another issue. Are we ready for that or not? Okay, why we cannot control. So look at the challenges on the digital transformation. Lack of clear strategy goal. We don't have a clear. Suddenly COVID-19 come in, and COVID come to two factors. One factor is health. The other factor is job, business sustainability. These two, how you want to harmonize. This is what we are struggling in the last 2 years, So I think the HR manager should be think what will happen to the next, and also the university must think what kind of graduate we are going to produce. Are we going to produce graduate academic just A grade? No, cannot. They must plus a social skill, respect, loyal, talented, everything must. Now they got an A, but they don't have all these soft skill in their heart. They don't respect us. So you're going to face a problem. When you ask to do some job in the workplace, they will reluctant to do. And what happened? They will just left, goodbye, and go. This is happening now. So I'm keep on telling these. Don't think like 10 years we discuss again this issue. Look at the policy of the country. So I'm advising a lot in the Ministry of Human Resources. I'm sitting in the many platform at the national, international. I'm advising them, even ASEAN countries, even other countries also. I'm trying to help sharing the knowledge. Okay. So we need to upgrading system. Our system is a very backward system. Look at the internet, very, very slow, Now we need to fast track everything. If you go to Europe, if you're sitting in any hotel, you can see the fastest internet, and you go to Korea. Why we are not investing on this? What we do now? Maxi, Cellcom, Telecom, all these people sit down. You're looking at the trend, the new trend is happening now. So very, very important at the moment how to do that. And then you look at the expertise. Look around how to capture the expertise. Our program, university program, answer to the industry need? I think Dr. Munira have the right answer. We are creating the talent to the country, to the workforce. Our company ready to pay them? No, our company never really pay them. Our company only want to pay minimum wage, which is not right. This is what I'm telling yesterday in Astro Awani Live TV. I said, cannot. You should look at different packages for them. But are we our student ready for that? Okay, I got a few students from 5 here also listening to us. I bring them. I say, come and listen. You have to listen. What's going on in the future? They cannot be just like come to university and I know. So the university life, student not interested in anything. They just want to get an A. That's all. They don't participate in the club, in activity. They want to organize a conference. No. If you don't have this kind of capacity, how you want to see a good, a talented, and the best talent in the company? They will be rejected. You will be upset. And you're going to do what? You're going to recruit people other countries. And we're going to lose. So that's why I keep on telling, even Prime Minister, I'm telling all these our countries, especially sit down and look at what's happening now. And it's a time for us to unite and sit down. And there's a time for us, private university, public university, work together. This is one of the best I can, thanks to MAHSA, bring public and the private together. This is the one good initiative. I would like to thanks to the organizer. They keep on doing like that. Okay, what's happening now? We are talking of MOC. MOC, like massive online courses that you can offer to around the world. And I think I thank to HRDF Corp, yang bahagia Dato' Syarul, okay, and also thank to Dato' Arif, who is a National Human Center. I was a senior fellow researcher. The important appointed to me, and I'm advising. They're asked to advising on. So we are like an ambassador. We are talking about many things to changes on the policy. So I'm very glad that I involved in this policy making to advise the right policy for the right in the policy, and together with us a lot of top 10 HR practitioners and industry and work together. All right. So our thing lacking is a soft skill. Soft skills are lacking at the workplace. Many employees don't have even respect. They have big vandalism. They don't like to work. And how you want to get the best talent? They work for selfishness. When I recruited as one of the company, I was paid. I was thankful. I have to work very, very hard. But how company treat them? Do you give some reward to them or not? Do you provide some facility for them or not? You get all these things. So we must be go to way on the things. So we have a lot of professional courses available free now. But are they all these really, help the industry? That's a question to ask during the business sustainability. Yes, it can be sustained. We've gone through the Asian crisis. My PhD look at the Asian crisis, the impact to the employee participation. And I found that many companies actually in my 2 case studies already come out from this crisis and they retain the people, but of course they have a different strategy. Okay. So for my fundamental question is retain people, make them happy, well-being, employee engagement. If we don't have all these, people don't feel happy. People will get paid, but people are not happy. When they're not happy, they're not producing anything. The same thing company must go down. How many CEO of the company go and coffee with the just ordinary people? How many? Tell me. Nobody. How many a CEO go or CEO, in the dean, whatever, I don't care. Go have coffee with their staff, the staff like Clark. You ask them, no, they don't have, patience to do that. But that is not right. You look at the Tan Sri Tony Fernandez. He make ordinary person. You go carry the things. He make happy. You go to social media. You put everything there. You feel like so comfortable. And I do that also. I do also. Only thing is tough for me to deal with the young student. Tough for me because you go down. You need to monitor them. But I will go to them and talk to them and say what you want. But it's very difficult to change their mindset. They are not like our time. But we have to start. So all this very important that I think from the academic perspective, the research show this evidence base. So we need to rebranding employee, like Dr. Munida said, branding the under the sustainable development post-pandemic, brand your company. Look at your company weakness, look at the company's strength, and look for how I want to bring my employee to the next level. Am I rewarding them? Am I show the career development for them? Many companies don't have even career development, don't have zero. Many people even didn't get a pay, pay increase, nothing. So this is our fault. Companies supposed to think creatively, innovatively to invest the business. We are the one responsible. We cannot blame the staff. The staff should follow what we have done. So these are the things that, think outside the box, what we call as a box. And so pandemic actually giving a lot of good thing for us to think outside the box. So composition, benefit, all this very important. So HR manager supposedly advise the CEO in the right policy. They are the one, they cannot punish people. Today, HR manager, people see very scared. They are not, they must be very kind to the people. They must be sometimes very strict to the people. You must have mixture emotion. But end of the day, you the one actually bring them to the next level. Let them grow in your company. Let them stay in the company. All right. Normally, when I work, I stay at least 10 years. I will stay in UMS for 17 years. I was just hijacked to come here to talent. I work here. I'm almost 10 years. I didn't any complaint. I keep on working. I make sure I put the social media, everything about good of the university. That's what I do. So it's a question about how you rethink about your life, your company, and how you sustain. Okay, and look at the generation changes. Okay, now we got a lot of millennials. I'm talking about the Z generation. Very, very difficult to handle them. I was an academic 25 years. I teach a lot my students in the beginning. They are so respectable. Now they are become CEO, director. Actually, I call one my student. He was a director for Lembaga Ikan Malaysia. In English, we call fish research board. He is now director. He's told me, Prof, I'm very happy. Next, I'm going to be next level. So all this giving me an impression. That's in a 90s, 2000 student. Now, no. Now students know. They get an A. Even if it's no, say thank you to you. What happened to the youth? When you employ them in the workplace, they never say thanks to you. This is what we want? No. We need to change the structure from the university to create for the better talent in the future. And in school also the same thing. So we are going to be tough, graduate from the college, enter the workforce, So it's going to be very, very tough to handle them. But as Dr. Munida said, there's no choice. We need to handle them. How are we going to handle them? That is our job to rethink. So during the interview, we know them. During the interview, we know them. That's why I told many companies, if you want to take some student, let me know. I know some of the student that, I know which students are good, not good, I can tell them. If you take this kind of student, you're going to suffer. So you can do recruitment within the campus, okay? And now we're talking about digitalization. Yes, everything, recruiting, performance. Like example, I'm hearing this. So some of the company actually putting all the performance appraisal on the online. Actually very good. You know what is your KPI. For example, I work KPI for next year KPI, I'll do for this year one. I do like that. I won't stop my KPI, do for this year. No, I do advance. Because all the digitalization very clear. What job to achieve, and then you achieve that. So that's very good if the system actually to help you to grow and nothing. But don't the system punish you. Some system is not good, they punish you, right? And then we talk about ROI, return of investment. We want to invest. You invested so much, but do you think that ROI? Sometimes the package is expensive, doesn't matter. But the facilities, number A, people will come. People will come for facilities, social, gathering, fellowship, all the people will come and people want to work. It doesn't matter whatever. So these are the things that we have to think under, different. But there will be time company will take all the mobile workers, no workers at the workplace. Company becomes smaller. They will hire people like expert, like me. Let's say I'm HR expert. They will hire me to recruit people. They just pay me like that. So they will already come. Lawyers will lose a job. Lawyers also become artificial intelligence, will run everything systematically. Even doctors also, I'm not sure. So all many jobs will be losing. They're coming, and like Dr. May said, new job will coming, but the new job, are we ready to teach them in the university? We are teaching all academic program, which is not, I think, is not relevant. Okay, you should have mixture industry and academic. I believe on that. It's a time for us to think at least 60-40 from industry, and then understand what you're going to happen next. If you don't do that, you just go academic A. The A students, sorry, I'm saying, they are not loyal students. They just want a grade only. That's all. But when they come to your workplace, they just like that. They want so A student plus social soft skill, and they will be better. Okay. What are the key challenges that we are going to face now? Of course, during the study conducted during the COVID-19 business continuity plan, 67% people said, the data say like that. Managing remote, a lot of people working from home, and now we are going to be totally post-pandemic, endemic, and virus with us. When the virus already affected, you have to stay home, and you lose a lot of job. People cannot come to work, and because of you stay home, other people affected. How are we going to handle this? And another, employee communication will be breakdown. Last time, very good, like face-to-face teaching is very important, but now it cannot be take place, mostly online. And the result of online is the student becomes self-centered. They don't care. Even they come back to campus, they also don't care. Imagine, students come back to campus during the online, they are so close. When they come back to campus, they even know, come and see your lecturer, professor say thank you. No, nothing. They don't feel that. But some of them, yes. Some of them, yes. I'm very proud. Some of the students, when I'm walking through, they run to me, Prof, you teach me good lesson, and then I want to take photo video. So that's very, very few, rare. Majority, no. They are not doing that. So that's why I'm telling you, this is a very serious issue. Managing flexible work arrangement, yes. Recently, our new act, Employment Act 1955, I think they're going to pass in the parliament. They come up with a new scheme for the private sector employees, flexible working arrangement already, because there's a law, then there is implication. This is all due to the actually pandemic and digital disruption. And because you need to work under digitalization, they already make the law. That's very good. Like they increase the paternity leave for men for 7 days. All right. And women get 98 days. All the good thing I think happening now. And I think I'm thankful to the Minister of Human Resource and also Prime Minister to look at this seriously. The law that implemented in 1950s today. So whatever research I've done, whatever suggestion I've done in my academic research, now is taking place on the policy. That's a very important academic to be playing important role in any countries in the world, because they are the one actually giving a right advice, because it comes from the research. Okay. All right, they're coming back to the industrial relation. There's another part that people undermine in the workplace, even at the university. I didn't see anything about industrial relation. Industrial relations is a very important component, complementary with the HR. HR is more looking at the business sustainability. HR is looking at the more to attract people. IR is a more internal factor to make the people happy. Harmonization and index. Recently, we do study. Harmonization is quite high, but reality, when we do qualitative research, no. We found that there's no harmonization at the workplace, especially during COVID-19, because everybody's stressed and so on. Nobody really taking care of the employees at the workplace. So IR is going to be very, very important for me. Look at the problems now, inflation, low productivity, and we're talking about high wages. Recently, we increased the salary 1,005. Are we ready to face another step? How are you going to make them to make higher productivity? So IR is a fundamental issue. We are looking at the trade union now. The union is there. You cannot kill the union. Even disruption, how the union must change. So I also advise the NTUC, please change your mindset. You cannot stay like 20 years ago. Cannot. You need to adopt and adapt to the what company wanted with you. Go on the partnership, like what agreement has been done in United Kingdom, in Latin, in Europe, like Germany. Mercedes-Benz, BMW, they survive. They do only because they are put emphasis on IR. Do you know the success story of Mercedes-Benz? I done study on that in when I was in Europe. I did a lot of study on this automobile and also oil industry. You know why? Because IR. They really respect the people. They really put emphasis on people. That's happening in Scandinavian country. We can say we cannot follow Scandinavian. They are very much advanced. No, like that. We can take some of the good practice we can put in our company and look at the company. There are many companies in Malaysia. I can see that. I personally see in Kelantan few companies, they really do well during they never retrench people, they put the people there, okay? Regulation, all the acts under industrial relation. Now, I really thankful to the Malaysian government, especially from Ministry of Human Resources, and also the Prime Minister. They are willing to sit down and discuss with the MEF, Malaysian Employee Federation, MTC, and so on. And they are discussing to come up with a new law, new thing after the pandemic. That's very good. This is what we want. And I think during our engagement, I was giving a lot of ideas to these people to sit down and look at our workforce and what's going to happen. And to bringing the foreign workers, you cannot stop. We are lacking a lot of people. Doesn't matter, they can come. But are we going to increase the number or going to the number? Are you going to bring the talent to the country? I mean, migration is a normal issue everywhere in the country. You go anywhere also, you can see migration is happening. But how you want to deal with the migration? That's another question. What kind of policy we want to put? So that's all. So I'm talking about minimum wage. You cannot run away. Malaysia was too late to do any, but thank God we are on the right track. So I was even at the University of Malaysia Sabah. I did a lot engagement, forum with the industry, trade unions, and so on. With even my student organizing all the big event. And now they are super manager. And in those days, not now, okay? And now you give students, they won't do anything. They just reluctant. No, sir, I have no time for all this. They say like that. That's straightforward. But those students are like that. So recently, you know that Malaysia got praise from the International Labour Organization, ILO. Most people know ILO. ILO is United Nations, same like WHO and Geneva for minimum wage fixed convention. Sorry, the spelling. C131 convention. We ratified in 2016. We are very late, but we was praised by many countries. In fact, Indonesia and South Africa, even some countries in Latin America, they are also following our formula that we created in year 2011. And I believe during the time it's very struggle to come up with the minimum wage. And we are very proper discussion. We got National Consultative Council, and we are technical committee. We do a lot of research from academic perspective, and so it's all proper channel with good governance and so on. So what is going to happen in the post HR during the digital disruption? This is what my own as a professor of HR and IR, I like to propose these. Employee will be choose the best talent, creative employee under the industrial revolution. That will going to happen. There will be people taking everywhere in the world. There's no border for that. And then majority people will move to digital economy without any boundary. You can see Facebook, you can see Grab, you can see everything. Sometimes Grab, they don't have employee. They will just call drivers. They don't have car, nothing. And they're now with the food. They don't have any proper package for them. That's what another might struggle to how to bring the package for them. All right, working from home. What are the law to support them? Thank God there are some law they already ratified, but not enough. We need to think about, like example, lecturer working from home. How do you know they're working from home? What are the criteria to put them home? You cannot control them. It's good, they can work. Doesn't matter. Lecturers, I'm encouraging, but you need to have some kind of control mechanism, and the law must be there. All right. Industry tension will go like that. Dr. Munira was mentioning just now. Many industry will go. Many employment will go, replacing by new one. But whether or not the new one can replace the best talent, that one is not sure. That one must discuss at the national level, regional level, state level, and the university and other organization. Everybody must work together. Don't work under silo. University cannot work under silo. University must closely work with the several agency, and then you propose. So like we're bringing our top MBA student, we must bring the top MBA student to come to our class. They have to discuss the solution. We are academic to provide some kind of fundamental theory to them. They have to discuss. They have to come up with a solution. And that's, for me, the best MBA student. Otherwise, we're just teaching like normal teaching. They're not qualified to be MBAs. MBA means what? Come to solution. So this MBA, actually, they come from the industry. They come there and they discuss, and then they go back and they apply the knowledge. So that's what I do all to my MBA students. When they come to the class, I give some assignment. Reality must be taken into place. Otherwise, nothing, nothing they can be learned. It's more application, discussion, critical analysis, and then you go more engagement with them. Something is happening in the workplace. So that going to another issue. New performance appraisal will take place. We'll introduce all already happening now. I think HR manager will do, and I agree. Dr. Munira also agree with me. There will be a lot of things to discuss on this new packaging of HR, right? So most job decentralized, no more centralization, no more. There will be a lot of satellite company will be established during the business sustainability. They want to sustain the business, so the big company becomes smaller. The smaller company will merge with another company, and merging and will happen. So another thing, new industrial labor relationship will come. Challenge for trade union during the digitalization. Do you think union are relevant in current situation? What is a new paradigm shift? All this must be think. This all the question to be asked, like in education, services, tourism, people working online, everything. So do you think is relevant? You have to think about that. We have to think together with all the policy makers. New labor employment, we introduce in yes, recently they done. They do an employment act, they do on minimum wage and so on. Policy on vulnerable people, that's another issue we have to think. Don't think that digitalization disrupt business sustainability and then you retrench people. What about women, youth, elderly people? In India, we got a lot of problem with this, so we have to solve the problem. They all our people, they all our employees, we need to do that. Changing role of global recruitment, yes, they will go on the worldwide recruitment. Example, I tell university, competition going to be super competition. What you can bring to the student, that is a fundamental question. How you want to tackle the student, that's a fundamental. Who is your staff? Who you bring the staff? Who are the one? Who's a professor? You bring to the university. That's a talk university. You will talk about the hospitality industry, digitalization on the tourism. How you want to promote the tourism around the world? Doesn't happen. Many tourists in Malaysia, all the best places, still uncaptured to the world market. There will a lot be done by the other ministry and so on. Even student tourism for me is very important. You can bring students all over the world here as a student tourism. Let them expose. This happening to my student from Europe. She came to do a research in UMS and she said, Prof, I want to come to study under you. Then okay, no, fine. But when she come here, she traveled all over Asia. So she took the opportunity to travel and study, and she got the best student. Her paper accepted the best. So she's smart, but at the same time, she also travel in the all of Asia. And I'm flexible. I say, go, you explore everything. So that's another thing that we never think about that. So this is all the global issue, that will happen. So some job no more in the future scenario. Education system will be reformed by many countries. Yes, many countries must do now, not do the next. So I think good luck. Thank you to all the participants. Be patient with me and distinguished speakers, and also the organizer, Dr. Sirak, and all of us are really thankful to you all invite me. Whatever I share here is actually from my academic research experience, and I so much happy to share with you all, and hope to work close with the MAHSA in the future, and we can work closely, and also work with industry. So thank you very much. Dr. Tara, I hand over to you.
I thank you so much, Doctor. Thank you so much to Professor Dr. Balakrishnan Parasuraman. And now, please allow me to invite our Associate Professor, Dr. Siriak Nelikunel Devasya, the Dean, to award your good self with a certificate of appreciation from us to you.
Thank you very much, Prof. Bala. It was an indeed inspiring talk, and we really gained a lot of new insights, especially on HR matters. And I'm sure all the participants really appreciate your time with us. Thank you so much, and MAHSA really appreciates you. Thank you.
Thank you, Doctor. Thank you, Prof. Thank you, Prof. All right. Now, for our second expert session, I would like to call upon Dr. Sajid Nair, CEO. I'm sorry. I'm really sorry. Wrong. Sorry. For our first expert session, I would like to call upon Town Planner Dr. Noor Hasliza Abdul Halim, Head of Tourism Planning Research Group, Program Coordinator, Masters Tourism Planning, University Technology Malaysia, to speak to us about Smart Digital Traveling Network for Tourism Safe Travel Destination. But before that, allow me please to introduce our guest speaker. Dr. Noor Hasliza Abdul Halim currently is the Program Coordinator for Masters of Science Tourism Planning at the Faculty of Built Environment and Surveying at University Technology Malaysia, Johor, and has more than 15 years of experience in teaching, research, and consultancy. Dr. Hasliza is also the head of Tourism Planning Research Group, a research group specializing in tourism management, tourism planning and policy, community development, and sustainable urban planning. She is also the corporate member of Malaysian Institute of Planners and the member of IN, Board of Town Planners Malaysia, which brings her to the title of Town Planner Dr. Nur Hasliza Abdul Halim. Doctor?
Thank you so much, Dr. Tara, for a very great introduction of me. I would like to say thank you to MAHSA University for this opportunity to be invited in MAHSA International Conference on Accounting and Business, MICAB 2022. And I was very delighted to be one of the guest speaker, expert speaker for this morning sessions in sharing my title on the Smart Digital Traveling Network for the Tourism Safe Travel Destination, which this is a part of my study with the ASEAN University Network last year, where we come up with a pilot framework on how we prepare ourselves in tourism, in safe travel tourism destinations once the border been opening and so on. So without further ado, let me share my slides here. I hope everyone can see this slide here. So the title that I chose for this morning session is Smart Digital Traveling Network for Tourism Safe Travel Destination, where if we look into the preparation of ourselves in the new norm traveling pattern, as well as in the new norm of safe travel, so we have to look into a future of new norm traveling, and this is where we have to, as an academicians or the practitioners, or in terms of the operator, tourism operator, so on, we are preparing, we need to have specific guidelines or specific framework on how we can capture the safe travel network. All right. So before I move on to my further slides, so I would like to introduce ourselves as a tourism planning research group in University Technology Malaysia. So we started operations in early 1980s. So in UTM, TPRG is one of the research group, okay, the pioneer research group, where we have the capacity to carry out specific research and consultations such as tourism master action plans, tourism resource evaluation, tourism demand analysis, tourism impact studies, SDGs in tourism application, and the technologies and digitalization in tourism. So any one of you who would like to reach out to us, so please do contact us down there. And we also have a very great, very wide network, and as well as preparing studies to the Ministry of Tourism and Culture, okay, under MOTAC, and as well as other government, state government, and so on. All right. So without further ado, so like what the previous speakers has been mentioned many times, and I think this is not new terminology to everyone in the tourism area, everyone in the tourism industry. Because why? When we look into the tourists in new norm, there are so many different shades between whatever the previous norm and the new norm after the pandemic. So let me introduce again to recap, whatever that been mentioned by our previous speakers. Okay, travel restrictions and entry requirements from country to country. This is to allow for the government restrictions in terms of the safety and security, where every country become more priority in terms of these requirements in order to allow tourists to come over. So like what, for example, in Malaysia, we are going to start out to open up our border starting from the 1st April. However, there are many other countries that already open up their border. So The reason why is because of the safety and security that belong to that country is different. Okay, so this is what might make the tourists become mindfulness. Okay, they fear to travel. They don't know what to prepare themselves in pre-visitation, during the visitation, as well as the post-visitation preparation. So this what make the travel advisory become more and more important to everyone, to every traveler, especially to cross the border, to cross the country to country. All right. So let's go to the what make it change. The new norm, the new norm changes because of the COVID-19. So as we can see, most tourists or most traveler concerned in terms of the confidence. They become more concerned in terms of the safety problems, their health protocol, as well as the country clearance. So what are the country entry requirements? So if this kind of information didn't publicly appear in any public framework or public website, so this will make the traveler become more sensitive or more difficult to travel to any other experience, other country. So this also make in terms of the preparation for the traveler, in terms of the pre-visitation, during the visitation, as well as the post-visitation. So what they need is the Smart Health Travel Certificates. And the second one is the tourism-related businesses readiness operation. This is related to the operator. The tourism operator that belong to each of the destination, like for example, in terms of their cleanliness, in terms of their safety, in terms of their environmental friendly problems. This what make the SOP the new, what are the new SOP in order to define their readiness to open up their business to receive tourists. So in previously we don't have the digitalization mechanism, we don't have SOP, so more like on the conventional mechanism. So what we need is the standard operating procedure that applicable to each country, and also how this SOP also can be applicable to the internalization. And the last one, the third part concern is on the tourism safe zoning identification. So this kind of real-time determination is very important. We have the traveler very concerned on the 24 hours real-time or free COVID zone area, and country to country tourism policy also have their own determination of free COVID zone area. So this will also allow in terms of the identification to the traveler to where they think is safe to travel, which part of the area is safe to travel. So this is where the need of the digital tourism zoning network for the safe travel corridor destinations. All right, so let's go a little bit on the literature review. So, as what I mentioned just now, we are concerned on the tourism safe travel destinations. So this is where the supply side shock as well as the demand side shock will also comply to the ecosystem in terms in the tourism and travel disruptions. So in terms of the job risk, in terms of the, if you look into the supply side, then we are looking at the job risk. We are looking at the survival of the operator. We are looking at the destination preparedness. However, in terms of the traveling sites, where the demand side for the traveler, okay, in terms of the fear to travel, the safety, the uncertainty of the normal, okay, the normal traveling, and as well as to the encouragement to depends on the source market travel restrictions is make the adaptive or stimulate the demand into how to build the resilient tourism destination, as well as to build the confidence for the visitor and market. And this is where the smart traveling network ecosystem is very much important in order to give a framework to the operator as well as to the traveler on the, okay, look, where we want to go, which part of the area is safe for us to go, and how the operator can again prepare themselves to receive tourists, and this will look into the health, safety, and digital, as well as the activities that go down to narrow it down to the specific angle of the tourism destination need. All right, so if we look into the COVID definitions, okay, we're looking at the confidence. Okay, C for the confidence. To develop through this confidence with real-time data check and forecasting. Oh, you need to have an order liners, ensuring the order lines in the sanitations in terms of the health, safety, and as well as the operational procedure. And this will pretty much related to all tourism operators out there in order to make sure that the traveler confidence enough to go to your area. And then when we look into the visualization, this is very much equally to the vaccinations. So when we talk about the digitalization, it's very important now. It's equal to the vaccinations. And as well as the integration, you have to integrate the efforts and also to support the facilities with the destination stakeholders, as well as to look into the domestication, where we have to look into the domestic market to secure resources as well as the any other potential resources within the safe tourism corridor. All right, look. So now, when we have these two angle of concern, looking at the safe tourism destinations as well as to look into the safe travel network. So we look into the parameters. So our team, okay, so this is a parameters that we developed in last year, where ASEAN Tourism Associations through the ASEAN University Network, we're trying to develop a safe travel destination parameters. So there are 7 parameters for the safe travel network. The first one is a COVID-19 record. Second one is the vaccination status. Third is the digital and virtual tools. And then the SOP enforcement, facilities and environmental quality, the buffer zone and safe travel corridor, as well as the destination carrying capacity. So this will include into the network, the safe travel network, for the parameters for the each of the destination, to make sure that the step-by-step where to look into angle, or where to look into the spots that are green, green zone or free COVID zone. All right, so as we look into the diagram that I show here, okay, so we have the traveler entry and health clearance. Of course, in any countries now, we need to have that traveler entry and health clearance in terms of your vaccination status, in terms of your COVID-19 record, and so on and so forth. Okay, so from here we extract the data, and then we look into the herd immunity zone as well as the COVID-19 hotspot zone in terms of these 6 performance, or the 6 policy guideline. So we look into the digital and virtual usefulness. We look into the law enforcement and SOP. We look into the facilities and environment management, the tourist experience activities, the safe travel corridor, and the destination carrying capacity. For each of the spot that we think that will become the hotspot, the tourism hotspot. So we have the criteria layer. So once the criteria layer, we look into the special mapping, green zone network, as well as the COVID-19 safe tourism, which the 5-star zoning, which we divided into this each of this zone. So let's see on this 5 zoning, okay, 5 zone parameter. Okay, this is based on our study in ASEAN, for the ASEAN University Network. Okay, so as we can see from the parameter itself, so there are weightage, and as well as what are the criteria that we allow, that we set for the ASEAN countries. So we have blue, green, yellow, red, and as well as black. So black means the area is pretty much is not a good area to go. Is a blacklist area to go. And if you look into the blue zone, is a zero COVID. Okay, zero COVID area. Achieve the herd immunity and so on. So, and there are also in between green area, yellow area, and red area. So this will allow the safe travel zoning for the traveler to choose where they want to go. All right, then we come up with the star zoning, the 5-star zone. Okay, so we have the blue zone for the COVID-19 free zone, 90% vaccinated, and then we have the green zone for the indicator for the green zone, and then we have also the yellow zone and so on. So okay, then the black zone. All right. Again, when we try to look into how this will become the green zone network, so from the digital zone, okay, from the digital zone, using the applications or using the ASEAN application that we have to incorporate with other organizations such as the Ministry of Health, the Ministry of Immigrations, and so on and so forth. So we will have the layer of the criteria, and from there we can have zone, green zone, and also the other color of zone. So let's say, for examples, if you look into the starting zone, we go to the zone A to the zone B. Okay, so the first link is green. So you are comfortable or you are safe to travel from zone A to zone B. However, when you go to if you want to go to the zone C, since zone C is not in green zone, so you are not recommended to travel in that particular zone. And then this will allow you to go and choose to give options on which corridor that you want to choose again. So this will give you an alternative, will give you a network planning, to give you a trip planning, so that throughout throughout the traveler network visit to any area will give you safe and as well as a comfortable trip planning. All right. So when we look into the pilot study, this is from the ASEAN public opinion. So from the ASEAN public opinion, so we have 348 respondents from the 10 ASEAN countries. They are from the government, industry, as well as from the students from the age of 20 to 50 years old. And they are all have been traveling throughout the ASEAN countries. So this is what we receive. Okay, the importance in tourism destination selection. So one of the question is, what are the importance when you want to visit or you want to choose the tourism destination selections? So the first one is on the country crisis situation, and then the COVID-19 statistic, as well as the health safety procedure. So these are the three criteria when the traveler would like to go to any other places. And then when we go to the second questions, which is the tourism operators readiness based on the recovery places. Okay, so they are looking at the safety procedure as well as the product enhancement to where on they're ready to be recovered for the tourism readiness. And then when we look into the area of suitable for any tourism zoning or tourism network destination, so many of them suggested that island with an airport could be a suitable of pilot for this kind of tourism, safe travel tourism network. All right, from there, we look into the pilot outcome or the smart, in terms of the smart digital traveling network. All right, so looking at the smart digital traveling network, we see this is the example of the ASEAN tourism digital zoning network. So as the pilot destinations, okay, so as we know that ASEAN countries is most countries that been visited by many tourists in the world, and we are among the countries that been looking up for many tourism destinations that trying to that they want to that the tourists looking up when they want to travel to any places in ASEAN countries. So we have Luang Prabang, we have Hanoi, we have Bangkok. These are the among the tourism destination, ASEAN tourism destination, top tourism destinations. We have Siem Reap, we have Ho Chi Minh, we have Manila, we have also Cebu City, and of course in Malaysia we have Langkawi, Kuala Lumpur, Kota Kinabalu, Kuching, and Malacca as one among the hotspot tourism destinations. And if you look into the Indonesia, we also have Jakarta, we have Bandung, we have Bali that already opened up their border before this. And of course, we also have the smallest country, Singapore and Brunei, as among the countries that been very particular or very sensitive in open up their border. So this is where it's very important for the tourism agencies, for the tourism stakeholders, as well as the tourism operators to look into what are the criteria to be ready for the open up their borders, their tourism borders, so that the tourist is safe wherever they are in the countries. The tourism operator know what to do when there are certain health requirements or safety requirements apply to them, and they also know what are the next thing or the strategies that they can explore in terms of this new norm tourism destination, tourism pattern and tourism activities. So if we look into this one, okay, so this is one examples that we prepare, okay, through the tourism digital zoning network. So we have one destinations, okay, let's say for example is Phuket. So it will appear in the digital traveling applications. This is either is a red area, yellow area, or green area. And we look into the focus area in terms of the health check, in terms of the quality of the infrastructure and facilities, as well as the what are the limited access for each of the tourists to prepare themselves. So let's say the vaccinations in terms of the limited the vaccination status, whether they need booster, whether they need what are the type of vaccinations that have been allowed for the Phuket, okay, for Phuket, for tourists from other countries to enter Phuket. So if I can recall, there's a news, okay, previously where there are many tourists stranded in Thailand because of the type of the vaccination not being recognized from that country. Okay, so this is very important where when you have a different type of vaccinations and when you go travel, then you don't know whether your type of vaccinations has been is been approved by that country or not. So these are the procedure, these are the things that we need informations, detailed informations, as well as to look into the safe zoning network status of that particular destination, whether or not that area is a safe place to travel and so on. Last night, I happened to come across a news where there are a few people have been stranded in an island because of the very high COVID-19 case in that particular area. So this is what we are facing nowadays. We are happen to know that if we don't have this kind of solutions, then there are people who will be stranded somewhere. There are people who cannot enter the area. There are people who cannot travel safely, cannot travel comfortably because of these particular situations. Okay, so this is one examples that I've shown just now. Okay, so we have Phuket. Then we look into the network status for the particular dates. Okay, so this one here is prepared by last year. Okay, I prepared last year, where that time, okay, on that particular day, it is fall under the yellow zone. Okay, and then the COVID case, okay, is only 8 case with the vaccination status of 70%, and this will also allow the quality infrastructure and facilities in the virtual platform is 85%, and the tourism business protocol where tourism operator are ready for the business in about 90%. And there are also certain guidelines to the particular traveler, okay, to those traveler who wanted to enter Phuket. So they allow vaccinated international travelers to visit the island, okay, to visit the island without the quarantine requirement. So this is very much important as well, so that the traveler can plan themselves whether or not they have to be quarantined when they arrive, or have no need to be quarantined. So Phuket is among the one of the bubble tourism that been introduced after the pandemic last time under the Phuket sandbox, okay, under the Phuket sandbox. So because of this, many other area also looking up to the same requirements. So Phuket, as we know, is among the international islands and been very much an international hotspot for the island tourism. So Phuket become the pilot study for this for the study to look into the safe zone, or we call it as the green zone network, digital network, to look into after the traveler arrive to Phuket, so where else they can go, how they can manage themselves, how they can prepare themselves to travel to other places besides Phuket. All right, so the next one is Bali. Of course, in many ASEAN countries, Bali is one of the islands that we particularly looking forward to travel into. Okay, so when we look into the Bali status last year, it's still in the red zone. However, currently Bali already opened up their border without the restrictions of the quarantine. So this is pretty much interesting. So you can trace on the history or the chronology of the COVID-19 cases and also the vaccination status for the place. Okay, so we have also the health check. Okay, the COVID-19 case 143 that time, and the vaccination status is only about 67. But I'm sure now they are almost into the 90% of the vaccination status already. So in terms of the quality of the infrastructure and the readiness of the tourism operator, it can be said that Bali tourism operators has already been prepared in almost 90% now, okay, when last year it's still in 70%. And there are also certain limitations assessed. Okay, so as far as I'm concerned, that Bali has already allowed visitors to submit, okay, their RTK or their PCR COVID-19 test results, okay, and previously they still need to have the quarantine days in that area. However, now they need to have they don't have to be quarantined, but they need to take another additional one upon the arrival. So this is very important to the traveler to prepare themselves, to prepare on the safe travel destination network, where whether or not they can select Bali as one of the area to go. So and this is also to make sure that the tourism businesses can open their business, okay, throughout the countries, and this will allow the preparation of the tourism stakeholders also in terms of the receiving the traveler. All right. Langkawi. Okay, Langkawi also has been declared last year has been declared as one of the tourism bubble in Malaysia. So last year when we did the study, okay, it's still in yellow zone, and the COVID-19 case is still in 17 vaccinations, and the status still in 50%. So when we look into the readiness of the tourism businesses, they are already achieved in about 85% of their readiness to open up their business for the travel. However, last year, the limited access is still for the business traveler with the working permit, as well as for the medical tourism with the doctor clearance. But now, everyone can travel to for the domestic, everyone can travel to Langkawi. And soon it will open for the for the international borders. And under the tourism bubble, it's been open up since the 1st of January this year. So this is pretty much very important, not just for the government, not just for the traveler, but also for the government stakeholders on how they can looking up of the preparations into the safe digital network, as well as to look into what are the other criteria that they need, okay, that they need for the traveler to prepare themselves in order to be in the particular area. So this network will soon, okay, will soon become an important network for all travelers in the world. So in conclusion, so we know that the strengthening the resilience of the tourism industry requires enhancing its destination capacity. It can be reducing the destination vulnerability and to prepare to manage the tourism shocks. So to establish the ASEAN Green Zone Traveling Network is very crucial. So what we did is to grow uh, as the virus grow, and to progressively contain the virus so that we can ensure the safe mobility as well as the safe travel destinations to the all traveler, in allowing to the safe zone destination through this smart digital traveling network. So I think this is will give you an inspirations on how the tourism industry, tourism studies will give a framework in detailing into the preparation of the smart tourism. So this is where the smart tourism is very important to everyone. This is where the smart tourism become one of the important tools. Smart tourism become one of the another angle of the scope of studies. Smart tourism become another important component in any studies. Okay, in any studies. So looking out to the smart tourism is not just a tool. Smart tourism is not just for the looking up applications, looking up for the digital tools, but actually smart tourism, digital tourism is also about the contents, about how you want to connect from one to another, how you want to be uh, through this smart tourism to connect it from one stakeholders to another stakeholders, from one operator to another operator, to link up the supply and as well as the demand, to link up not just the traveler but also to the other operators in tourism industry. So with that, I would like to say thank you again to MAHSA University for this opportunity in sharing my sessions for this morning. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Doctor. And now I would again like to call upon our Dr. Syriac, Associate Professor Dr. Syriac Tilikonel, to award your good self a certificate of appreciation from our side.
Thank you, Dr. Lisa. Thank you for taking your time out today morning to be with us. MAHSA University greatly appreciate your contribution today. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you once again.
And for our second expert session, I would like to call upon Dr. Sajif Nair, COE and Founder Chairman, AT Competent HR Solutions and Asset, India, to speak to us about OBE and Competency Management System towards business sustainability. But before that, again, kindly allow me to introduce our respected guest. Dr. Sajif Nair has over 35 years of extensive professional experience in national and global corporations. He has worked in multicultural environment, offshore, onshore, islands, interior locations, corporate offices with reputed companies, including Reliance Industries Limited, Royal Dutch Shell, Shell operating companies such as PDO or Petroleum Development Oman, Electronics and Electrical Development Corporations, Kelron, manufacturing companies, product development organization, engineering education institutions, Exteran, manufacturing and product development and service company in the US, and ADNOC Group, Abu Dhabi. Doctor?
Hi, very good morning to you. Is it audible or is it
It
clear?
is audible, Doctor.
Thank you. Let me share the screen first of all. Is my screen visible or not visible?
Your good self screen is visible, but the presentation is not visible. So just click
Okay.
on presentation. Yeah.
Okay, presentation is not visible.
Still, we can see your good self screen only.
Okay.
So just click on the presentation and it will show full screen presentation.
Sorry, 1 second.
It's okay, no worries.
I think it is not visible, I think. Am I right?
It is not visible yet, doctor.
Uh, see your screen.
We still cannot see. Maybe your good self can just share the screen, and then once you share your good self screen, you open those slides, it will show.
It's taking too much time.
That's okay.
Is it visible? Anything is visible or not?
It is not.
Sorry?
Not yet. Okay, your good self can just look at the lower side of the screen. There is this share icon.
Yeah, I click the share. Then after that, slides, video file, and share screen is there.
Share screen.
Share screen. Then after that, screen sharing is equipped with the two monitors. Screen sharing works best a good computer use. Only share screen. Just I press the share screen.
Yes, yes, yes.
Yeah, I press the share screen now. Is it visible now?
No, not yet, doctor.
Slides. One second.
Yes, doctor. Okay, so in the meantime, while Dr. Nair is trying to fixate his slides, we again would like to thank you so much for being here with us today for MAHSA's International Conference on Accounting and Business MiCAB 2022, whereby we had a lot of great sessions with very amazing and well-known guest speakers, and we thank each and every one of them for coming here, just like what Prof. Sri has said, to enlighten us about the latest development in the world of commerce, e-commerce, international business, and of course accounting, not to forget human resource management with the latest update of our pandemic new norm kind of life. With this, I think Dr. Sajif is now ready. I will add his good self now to the screen one more time. Dr. Sajif, are you ready? Maybe if doctor would like to speak without the slides, that would be fine too. Dr. Sajif, your good self is on mute.
Yeah.
Okay, so maybe your good self can share with us without the need for the slides.
Slides are there.
They are not, but that's okay. We can listen.
Okay. Okay. No problem. Okay. Sorry. Yeah, some technical glitches from my side. The topic is that. First of all, thank you very much, MAHSA University and the whole team members. Are you visible from my side? You can see me only. You are not seeing my presentation. Am I right?
Yes, we can see your good self. We can.
Okay. Thank you very much. Thank you, Dr. Siriak. Thank you very much, Dr. Tara. Thank you very much, the whole team. Thank you very much for the MAHSA University team and the other eminent speakers and other team members who are assembled here. First of all, thank you very much for giving this opportunity from my side. And let us speak something about the topic is OBE, outcome-based education and competency management system, towards business sustainability. That is my topic. And thank you very much for the introduction. And I will be sharing, from my experience, from the global corporations, and as precisely mentioned by the introducer, I'll be speaking more about what is the purpose of the education and what is the outcome of the education, how we are going to implement the education in an effective and professional manner. That's the topic, which we are going to talk. Precisely, we are discussing something about the outcome-based education. Everybody knows that, outcome-based education is purely focusing and organizing in an education system around what it is vital to the students to be able to do the successfully at the end of their learning experience. After the completion of engineering, after the completion of management, after the completion of IT systems or any functional learning, and of what they are going to do, in reality, when they are going to the industry, when they are going to the organization, what they are going to do. So the academic curricula, academic content, it has to be completely in line with the industry or organizational acceptance or organizational needs, which is very important. Accordingly, needs to develop the curriculum, instructions, and then assessment to make sure the learning is happening ultimately. So learning has to be linked with the organizational need. Learning has to be linked with the industry needs. Based on my experience, especially in many organizations, the people who are discussing about, after the completion of this education, after the completion of this management studies, or after the completion of my technical studies, where it is going to be applied. So based on my experience, especially in Royal Dutch Shell and other American oil and gas companies, which I have noticed that we are collaborating and we are discussing a lot of things, with the academic institutions, so that the people will accept about the academic content and everything, and which has to be completely in line with the organizational capability, organizational needs. So that is the main purpose of OBE, outcome-based education system and competency management system. So the industries and the academic institution collaboration is a very vital thing. I personally believe in that sense. That's why we can establish the curriculum design in a very strong manner, and program outcome and course outcomes, definitely we have to think of development of infrastructure. That is very important. Delivery methods, delivery methods, everybody knows that how we can impart the knowledge and skill to the students. It's a very important thing, and especially during this unprecedented situation, during the COVID situations, for the last 1.5 to 2 years, it was successful, in fact. And we can easily impart the knowledge, awareness and knowledge we can easily impart, but the skill is a question mark. So the organizations, a lot of the organizations, they are definitely doing very well. If the plan wise it is okay, corporate wise, definitely virtual connect and audio video facilities, it's available, so that it's going on in a professional manner. So the very important thing about the outcome-based education systems, outcome is very important. What happens are expected to know and to be able to do at the desired level of competence, which is very important. So outcome-based evaluation is also important. I personally don't believe that I'm checking the knowledge only. So checking the skill and checking the behavior, that is also important. The competency, the word itself, it comprises of mainly 3 buckets. Knowledge, skill, and attributes. Knowledge, skill, and behavior. In an organization, outcome-based education system, if you implement, a person is scored already a gold medalist, 100%, he scored everyone, or A+, all topics, doesn't mean that he or she may be a good candidate for the organization, because organization is evaluating and organization is assessing the person's behavior and assessing the person's attributes or the leadership skills or interpersonal skills, other than the functional knowledge, other than the technical knowledge, or other than the job knowledge. So it is important for me. Knowledge, skills, and attributes is very important. That is a competency management system. So I would say that transformative or imparting knowledge and skills, that learning, it has to be in line with the academic curriculum and the organizational or industry needs. Learner-centrics, and understand the whole concept. Especially the students and faculties of any academic institution anywhere in the world should know what is the pulse of the industry and what is the pulse of organization, what the organization is expecting from the students. So and especially that's what I have conducted a lot of programs like Campus to Corporate, where I am stressing most of the things, especially on functional knowledge and technical knowledge, and most importantly the attributes and behavior. If the behavior is horrible, the organization definitely won't accept. Even the person, the candidate is number 1 in the world, who has scored, gold medalist and all, doesn't matter that if the attributes, if the behavior collapse, and if the behavior is not in line with the organizational requirement, organization definitely will not accept it. So we need to concentrate that the most important things. Even today afternoon I have a session, especially to an organization, and it is in collaboration with the academic interest. We will be talking more about the academic professors and the academic profession. They were talking more about the functional knowledge and the curriculum content, etc. and I will be talking more about functional knowledge and the professional knowledge, how you are linking with the industry needs. That is one thing. How the people are communicating each other, how the people are working as a team, how the people are, it's a good listener, good listening habits and all. How you can motivate, how we can enhance their interpersonal skills in a continual way, which is very, very important. So, and the curricula definitely, which is very, very important, that curricula has to be in line with the industry needs. I'm always using the word like that. Curricula has to be in line with the industry needs, because me as a profession, if you look at my total overall 3 decades of professional experience, 15 years, 50% is actually from the industry. I was working as head of engineering, head of operations, head of quality, head of engineering management, etc., etc. Then after that, I moved to the learning and capability building, learning and talent management, learning and training and development, and even on the job training experts or the subject matter experts, various kinds of hats, which I was wearing in the organization. So which I was thinking that the candidates has to acquire a continual knowledge, skill, and attributes, and which is very important. The behavior is very important. If the behavior is horrible, definitely, being me as a person, worked in very senior roles, regional director or senior vice president roles, in major corporations, it won't accept, the team of people, they will, and I have seen that, some of the organizations, they don't question about their functional knowledge and all, they will be keenly looking about the the interpersonal skills of the person. So the candidate will be wondering why I was completely referring, my technology book, engineering book, or management book. This interviewer has not asked anything on, he was asking about various other things about the interpersonal attributes. Once the interviewer is assessing that person whether he's a real human being, then only you can go for the next round of interview. Maybe after 1 week or 10 days, they will be after selection and all. They'll be talking about a deep dive analysis or a postmortem analysis to assess their knowledge, especially on the job knowledge kind of thing. So my main focus is the outcome-based education system has to be established. Even one of the discussions with IIT, Indian Institute of Technology here, and most of the management institutions, which I noticed that what kind of expectations are expected by the industry professional and organizational personnel to attain the organizational excellence. So we'll be concentrating more on that kind of stuff. Okay. So that is very important. So I'll be talking a little bit about, it's a flavor, maybe 30 or 45 minutes discussions. I'll be talking more about the competency management system. So, and outcome-based education system. So the competency management system is also very interesting. And unfortunately, I will share this presentation to everyone, maybe by email to the organization, and then definitely please share this presentation, because I exclusively prepared yesterday night, about the OBE and the competency management system. Unfortunately, maybe it is a technical glitch from my side, that's the reason. And very simple, if the organization doesn't have a competent workforce, what would be the end result? This is a big question mark. Organizational experts always thinking that, we have hired a lot of engineers, mainly, even in India, even in Reliance Industries itself, we are hiring around 700 to 800 graduate engineers in a year. Similarly, management experts, maybe 100 or 150 or 200 management MBAs and all, So while we are hiring, we have got a lot of expectations, of course, and we have got a very structured curriculum also for their 1 year onboarding, 1 year, you can say, induction. I don't want to say induction, we call it as a GET, graduate engineer training period, or a management training, MDP programs, management development programs, which is very clear. And this will not be available in any books, which I have got a lot of experience. Based on my experience, I have developed a lot of things on graduate engineering training programs, what the graduate engineers supposed to be learning during their entire 1 year period. It is purely based on the organizational requirement. Similarly, management development program, it is purely what the managers are expected to deliver during their training period, and beyond, so we will be we are normally we are in a position to develop that kind of curriculum, which is very important. My the question is, the competent, we doesn't have any competent workforce, knowledge skill attribute, that knowledge and skill attribute person, if it is not available in the organization, what would be the end result? I don't want to explain bit in detail about what has happened in Piper Alpha incident long back, and very simply I can say that 160, I have got some statistics. 167 out of 229 people on board were killed. That means it's non-adherence of the procedures, non-adherence of the permit work system, etc., in technically speaking. Or I would say that learning or academia or training delivery is not a fancy piece. That is my own English language, and I don't want to say that this training is very good, learning is very good, education is excellent, everybody is applauding and everybody is saying that fantastic. The next day there is a fatality. So the fatality incidents and lost time incidents or lost time injuries are linking with the employee's competency. So that's what I'm saying, outcome based. So anything and everything, the people has to be known very clearly, and people has to adhere all these safety and standard operating procedures or MCP, maintenance craft procedures, for doing any kind of activities in the long term. If you keep on typing in Google and the various kind of fatalities and which has happened in the organization in various stages and all, that you will come to know that numerous kind of incidents. And see, the main purpose of education, what is the main purpose of training and competency in the organization or industry? The people has to work without having any problem, without having any, people are adhering all standard operating procedures, people are adhering all these good behaviors and good leadership qualities and good listening habits and good communicating habits, so that the organization, the word which I was using, the business sustainability, is very, very important. For that, we have to generate an army of competent workforce in the organization. For that, a continual learning is very must. And plus, the continual learning, it has to be linked with the business or organizational requirements. I was keep on thinking that, which I was mentioning just now, that, if you type in Google about the major incidents and accidents happen in the organization, and if you keep on analyzing, even Shell says that 70% of the people competencies because of non-adhering of the procedures. That is also a behavior kind of thing, And even the people are they are saying that, I'm having 25 years of experience. Doesn't mean that, he's, he'll be doing all these activities in a, professional standard operating procedure. If you look at their experienced pilot, 25 or 30 years of experienced guy, before operating the pilot, there is a check sheet. 1, 2, 3, toggle switch number 1, and he's seeing that turbine is on, and toggle number 2, and we are seeing that turbine 2. This is an example, and temperature is as per this thing, wind pressure and everything he's calculating. Why? Without failure. That is a behavior, that is a standard operating procedure, because he's or she is operating a very, very critical equipment before takeoff. This is an example, a simple example. There are n number of examples there available in the organization. So whatever we are teaching the students, it has to be clearly visible, and it has to be clearly known to the people that the people has to adhere all the safety operation procedures and SOPs, standard operating procedures, in a standard manner. So the Shell studies this, 71% of the incidents are related to lack of competency. This is one of the survey long back. 71% of the incidents are related to lack of competence in the organization. Highly qualified graduates, engineering graduates, and even MBAs and all, but still it is happening. 50% are related to not following the procedures. That is also an interesting part. 50% they are not following the procedures. See, if you look at an organization, if you look at in an organization, there are a lot of things like SOP, SMPs, and even isolation procedure, de-isolation procedure, excavation permits, different kinds of permittal system, etc., etc. Very important. It is also a learning kind of thing. So even in the education field itself, we have to talk something about, say, for example, let us talk something about, first we'll talk about technical things. If you're talking something about, motor, generator, or transformer, where the motor and, transformers and generators are installed in the organization. Now, what is the purpose of this? What for it is? Say, for example, we have got fan, we have got air condition, we have got, mixie, grinder. There's a motor is there. What is the purpose of that one? So at least, that kind of awareness. We don't want to teach them only the basic theory like E is equal to B, the F is equal to P n by 120, or the EMF equation of a transformer is equal to 4.445 max F and volt, the basic theory. Absolutely. And how it is going to be applied in reality, that matters a lot to me. So that's what I'm saying. Academic curricula is linking with the curricula and linking with the organizational and industry needs. Say, for example, management. And a lot of MBA colleges, while I'm acting as a visiting professor, what is strategizing? What do you mean that? So we'll be talking about organizational hierarchy. We'll be talking about what is the purpose of managing director or the CEO. What is the purpose of the general managers and group general managers, and what they're supposed to do. What do you mean by strategy? What is the purpose of implementing different kinds of strategy? We talked about a lot of big words like HR strategy or finance strategy or OPEC, CAPEX, all this kind of stuff and all. But the people, especially the young boys, I would say the infants, the MBAs or engineers, they should be completely aware that what is the purpose of this kind of learning, and we are doing a lot of spreadsheets and etc. and all, and what is the purpose of that? So that is very important. That's what I'm saying, the outcome-based education after the completion of my education, after the completion of my training, and how I am going to become a competent workman. A competent workman doesn't mean that an operator or technicians, and even any level of the organization, an MBAs or engineers or technicians or operators, the first stepping stone, and he has to think, or she has to think very meticulously that my industry or organizational learning is starting. There they have to study and sharpen their knowledge, skill, and attributes over a period of time. That is my own, again, my own thinking. Sharpen their knowledge. Knowledge, to me, if a person moving from engineering and management to the organization, to me, a knowledge is underpinning knowledge. Knowledge required for the performance. And I don't want to ask a question to an engineer, what is the Ohm's law or Kirchhoff's law for an engineer, or what is a kinetic energy? We have an organization, organizational expert thinking that there is an equipments are going, and we have to see that the equipment is sustainable, equipment is running smoothly for the productivity, so that cash flow has to increase the organization. There should not be any breakdown. So that kind of thinking, so that has to be aligned with the curriculum also. So same way, management also, okay, I have learned a lot of things about HR strategy. I have learned a lot of things about IR strategy, industrial relations and all. My God, it's very good. See, there are strikes going on outside. 1,500 people are there. How you are going to manage it? That's the organizational experts are always thinking. So linking that kind of curriculum with the real needs, it's a must. So for that, based on my experience, we have developed a lot of things about competency framework. Especially the people are coming from the big institutions to the industry for business sustainability and business growth, for all job roles. That was one of the job role, which I was doing for the last 20 years, based on my functional and engineering and operation and to the industry. The learning and development framework has to be very well structured. Learning and development, again, doesn't mean that only virtual learning. Of course, now it is virtual important and different learning pedagogies, I would say that, you can say web-based training, classroom training, on-the-job training, simulation training, or specialist training, or project training, or construction training. So depending upon the organizational needs. So learning and development doesn't mean that, I got a very fantastic web WBT, and I can give to the employees and they will go through it. Doesn't mean that after the completion of WBT, they will, do the job in a professional manner as the organization intended. No, there are 360-degree kind of learning and development, which I was thinking that, WBT is maybe 5% or 10%. On-the-job training is most very, very important and vital, if an organization say on-the-job training, people are always thinking that on-the-job training is only for technical and functional people. So I have got a very big debate also. On-the-job training doesn't mean that only for technical professionals. It is especially for the managers, MBAs. And a lot of MBAs we are hiring. I said, my dear friends, instead of sitting in the office, people wants, normally I put these people in different factories or different stations. They will come to know about the management. Always I'm talking about to the management graduates that you need to learn more about the business. You already learn a lot of things about MBA and different kind of things. See, you need to learn about the business, then you can link that business and your knowledge and the organizational requirement with experts, subject matter experts or SPAs, skillful advisors in the organization. Then you can amalgamate, then you can implement the various kind of things in the long run for business sustainability and business growth and cash flow and the reputation of the organization. That's what I'm saying, that the organization doesn't have a competent workforce, definitely it will be a big disaster. And a lot of organizational experts will question that whatever you learn, that is learned, but again you need to learn, unlearn, relearn, all these kind of words people are using, but you need to do one by one the postmortem analysis on what is learning, what is unlearning, what is relearning, and why relearning is required. Say for example, the mobile which we are using 15 years before and the mobile which we are using is different. You can see a big switchboard in an in an industry. If you see a very big, make it 10 feet by 10 feet switchboard, now it is replaced with a small mobile or a small PLC, programmable logic control. That means technology is changing. So again, there was a debate. Technology, is it changing fast for the last 3-4 years? That is completely wrong. It is not 3-4 years. If you look at the aeroplane ATR plane and Fokker 27 long back, and even now the the Airbuses, 383 and plus the other 500 passengers can fly. That means technologies keep on changing. Doesn't mean that for the last 2-3 years technology is changing. Even today technology and tomorrow technology, and after 10 years the people will laugh at you guys are doing now whatever we are doing is a small thing, so it is already changing. So 3-dimensional things, and plus the virtual reality we are talking about, the augmented reality is also going to come, and plus it's going to play an important role. So a competency framework in the organization is a must, and linking with the OB and competency management, learning and development, it's a very huge topic, which I don't want to talk about. The learning, what kind of learning is expected in the organization, doesn't mean only virtual learning, and it has got a very huge thing on a specific special list training, which I was talking about, WBT, CRT, classroom training, simulation kind of training, and specialist training, etc., 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 etc. So many things. These are all. It has not come from heaven. People are thinking based on the innovation, based on the experience. We can implement a lot of things, softwares, and how you around 5 years before, we were using documents, through files, and now it is a different kind. So we can say that it is a I would say that it's a DMT, data management tool. So easily, a big room has got a lot of documents. It has been replaced with, a software, maybe a mobile. Even the learning is also happening through virtual learning. Previously, the classroom training, it has been replaced. I would say that awareness, knowledge, and little bit skill you can transform into virtual reality. Absolutely, we are discussing also with one of the organization that, see, awareness, knowledge, skill, and mastery. AKSM is the proficiency model, especially in the learning and competency management system. So awareness and knowledge and certain skills you can transform into virtual reality. It is good, cheap, and plus, we can. That is telling you, it is only basic knowledge and awareness. Doesn't mean that after these 3 we can do the job in a professional way as per the organizational requirement. No. So there are a lot of other things. After that, after getting some underpinning knowledge, then in reality, there are mentors and coach, and plus the subject matter experts are very, very important in an organizational, growth. So I would say the wording of competency is nothing but competency is the ability to perform an activity as per the organizational requirements. that is the international word like NVQ or SVQ, National Vocational Qualification, or Scottish Vocational Qualification, or SQA is very clearly mentioned. If you look at any countries like ATQ of Australian Training Quality Framework, there is a very clear understanding about competence, ability to perform an activity. If I am a very good carpenter, I need to do the job in a professional manner. If I am a very good lecturer, I need to how I can impart my knowledge and in a more professional manner, though that students will get a buy-in from the professor. That is the competency. Competency doesn't mean that it's a fancy thing. I have delivered a wonderful out of 5, everybody will be taking 5 and all. It doesn't mean that is not the competence. After that, how it is going to, how the employees or the candidates' performance is going to be enhanced to the next level. That matters a lot. So another one, competency is therefore about the performance in the workplace rather than knowledge alone. Is about the performance in the workplace. Workplace doesn't mean that only in the factory. Workplace, it is even the laptop. That is also a workplace. An IT engineer workplace is a laptop. Or engineers, it is actually, it is in the. Is it audible? Sorry, I'm keep on talking. Again, I'm checking. Is it audible?
Yes, doctor, it is audible.
Audible what I'm talking?
Yes, doctor, we can hear you. Yes.
Hello.
Doctor,
is it
can
audible?
you hear me? Yes, of
Yeah,
course we can hear your good self. Yes.
Okay. Thank you. Because because I keep on talking, I don't know whether it is. I'm extremely sorry. That's why I'm sorry.
No. We thank you so much. Yes, we are listening. Yes.
Okay, I think people are listening, and another. I think how many more minutes? 10 minutes or 5 minutes, or I think 45 minutes. Am I right?
Yes, you are right. I guess your good
Yeah.
self will have
So
like 10-15 minutes more.
the next thing which I was keep on talking about, competency, and which we have already talked about, knowledge, skill, and behavior. Knowledge is nothing about facts, theories, or concept which normally the management institutions or engineering colleges, they are talking about, the knowledge, or in my own words, think what to do and why you need to do it. There is a saying in management theory: 5 W's and 1 husband. Easy to remember: what, when, where, who, which. That kind of what kind of thing, what to do and why you need to do it. That is the knowledge part, and H is the how part. That is most important thing. Is the skill part, is the how part. So the knowledge is facts, theories, or concepts. In my own word, think of knowledge in an organizational concept. It is known as underpinning knowledge required for the performance. Skills is manual, mental, or analytical. How to do a job or perform a task. How to do a job based on employees' vision, and absolutely not. It is an organizational requirement. For doing an activity, there are a lot of procedures, and accordingly, definitely we have to do that kind of things. Behaviors, very, very important. More safety conscious people, teamwork. And some people are, and which I've noticed, and which I've already counseled also, some people are not smiling in the organization. That is also one of the or she may be a very intelligent or a smart or a productive professional, but still there is a mind connect, and he has to or she has to connect with the people. That is very important. Adopting correct behaviors, that is very important. So one takeaway from my talk, and think of the competency is nothing but only knowledge, skill, and behavior. Then only we can easily implement the competency management system. Then only we can think of calibrating, or think of revamping, or think of reviewing, or think of changing the academic curricula to the outcome-based education system. So the industry organization and the academia has to collaborate each other, then think and you can implement outcome-based education system. Otherwise, whatever we are doing, any kind of conference, any kind of these things, we'll be talking. And being me as a person, I'm a doer. Some people are only talkers. We'll talk very much, and plus, after that, what we are going to do after the completion of this one, and how we are going to implement in a meticulous manner, that matters a lot. So think of the competencies in 3 buckets, ladies and gentlemen: knowledge, skill, and behavior, which is very, very important. So, which is very important for the employees, and it is very important for the employers. That is important. So, and even the wording, the assessment. People are talking about assessment. I think you might have already heard about the assessment. Assessment in the academia means, you are giving an oral question, you are giving a written question, you are giving a multiple choice questions, you are giving a descriptive questions, and the people are going through the question, and okay, the assessment is done, you scored 100 out of 100 marks. But industry, it is a bit different. Even the definition of NVQ assessment is an interesting part. It is a process of collecting and judging evidence of competence against the relevant standard. That is a definition of international definition of national vocational qualification or Scottish vocational qualification. Any kind of this thing, assessment, this one. What do you mean by it? It is a process of collecting and judging evidence of a competence against a standard. So if I'm assessing a person, we are assessing a lot of things. How you are going to assess a person. Definitely knowledge, as you said, as we are discussing just now, that oral questions or written questions or like an examination, we can do some sort of peripheral knowledge, I would say, or I would say that some awareness knowledge. You can. Then there are a lot of things in the industry. People are checking about, other than knowledge, they will be checking about the skill. So they are give some sort of task. You're supposed to do in front of an expert. Expert will be observing. So we call it observation. Observation is one of the evidence, and questioning is one of the evidence. Question means all this kind of like test paper or like kind of thing. Then another terminology we would say that product is nothing but what are the different relevant documents he or she is supposed to refer for doing an activity. So assessment is that is again functional assessment. Again, you heard about psychometric analysis and all that is a behavioral leadership or interpersonal skills assessment. So assessment is a very broad, and now I'm implementing in an organization about the assessing the people from general manager to the next level, vice president level, or the AGM level, because that organization succession planning is a bit weak. They are very difficulty to find out the successors, to take over the next role, and so that we are maybe a 6 months or 1 year kind of analysis, and plus we will groom and we will enhance their capability, enhance their knowledge, enhance their skill, enhance their interpersonal skills, enhance their communication skill, enhance their presentation skills, in different buckets. And after that, we are giving a lot of informations, and apparently, we are assessing that guy on a different stages. Then finally we will say that this person is highly competent to take over the next role as a director, or this person is highly competent to take over the role of a group general manager, kind of things. So assessment, it is a very interesting topic, especially in the industry. That also it is purely based on the outcome based and the competency management system, or I would say the competency assurance system. These are all the things normally the industry or the organizations are mainly using. Competency assurance system. How I can assure my people that they are competent to do the job, especially in the critical organization, mining industry, oil and gas industry, petroleum industry, aviation industry, a lot of critical equipments and systems. If it is big problem, which I was mentioning earlier, that the pipe alpha incident should not happen, at any point of time. So a team of assessors, normally the organization is developing. A team of subject matters, organizations, because this is also based on my experience. Team of mentors, we are developing. Team of coach, we are developing. And different topics like technical, functional, behavioral, leadership, that kind of thing. So that if an organization has got around 10,000 people working in a site. We have got even in the refinery and all, the largest refinery in the world, Reliance Compass refinery in Gujarat state. We have got around 8,000, 9,000 people asset facing road. Just to imagine that, if something is happening and all, it's a very huge 70 square kilometer area which we are doing. Even if you look at Royal Dutch Shell, all over the world, there are a lot of even in Malaysia, Shell Sarawak, visited long back, and so many things are happening. Even Petronas, Malaysia. If you look at the organization, if the organization is sustainable, the organization is to grow. Think of building competent workforce. For that, an institution like MAHSA University or any other universities in the world has to think meticulously that how you can implement outcome-based curriculum, how the lecturers and professors has to deliver and amalgamate some sort of basic industry standards or organization standards to the students on a continual manner. These are all the things which I would like to discuss. Otherwise, there is no end. We keep on that, even each word, and we can talk even 1 day or 2 day sessions on each, whatever the words and terminology which I was using. So, which is very important. I think the time is very important here, and I don't want to take much time. And thank you very much for giving me this opportunity. I'm extremely sorry for these technical glitches. My presentation was not visible. So one day it is good also. I'm not recording only the presentation. I was recording my experience, and I was sharing my experience. I think it is useful. And hereby ending my session. Any questions at any point of time, you can connect with me. I'm so happy and delighted to explain whatever I know. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Dr. Sajif Nair. Thank you so much for your good self-speech and experience that you have shared with all of us here. And please allow me to invite once again our Associate Professor, Dr. Syriac Nerikonal Devasia, the Dean of our faculty, to award your good with a certificate of appreciation from our side to your good self side.
Thank you, Dr. Sajif. It was indeed a pleasure listening to you. I know we had some technical issues, but those technical issues actually was converted into kind of advantageous position. So we could listen to you, talking about your experiences, sharing your thoughts, and not just focusing on the slides. So everything happens for good and everything happens for a reason, I believe. So thank you for your time. We know we are 2.5 hours differences in time zone, but you are willing to share your thoughts and experiences with us, and MAHSA University greatly appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much for listening. Thank you.
Thank you, Doctor, and thank you, Dr. Syriac. Ladies and gentlemen, we are now going to have a virtual lunch break whereby our afternoon session is going to start at 2:30 p.m. At 2:30 p.m., we are going to have a very extraordinary guest that will actually speak to us as an expert speaker, our third expert speaker. And then after that, we're going to have our parallel sessions that will start from 3:15 until 5:15, followed by the session of awards that will be given to the best paper presented. And all these are coming up. So please stay tuned and return to us at 2:30 p.m. Have a nice time.